Prepare for battle. Thirty seconds to battle.
尔这样的一个例子，其实这种情况来说，对于 VP 他们那个选择就是要去处理好一个 TB， 还有包括一个
две верхние ЗВП. Ты говорил про трипл-линию.
Я говорил, что возможно.
Возможно.
На месте Virtus.pro можно было бы отправить.
На линии.
На линии, конечно. Но что будет, если придет Elder Titan? Ну, Elder Titan пока снизу, но сейчас он посмотрит так на ситуацию, увидит, что особенно ему снизу делать, может быть, там и нечего, и отправится избивать ребят сверху. Ну, посмотрим, что более важно, Ликвидов.
Ты вчера видел, и все вчера видели, кто смотрел трансляцию, кто смотрел матч ЕГЭ, что такое Elder Titan, если ему не заблочить спот. А спот, кстати, пока что никто не заблочил. Вот этот вот, да, который нам показывают. Здесь довольно интересная механика. Если на нем спавнится, допустим, ну, самый идеальный расклад — это кентавры и сатиры. Сатиры дают жесткий реген, кентавры дают резист. Потом еще может появиться Урса, это еще дополнительный резист. В итоге эта пачка, она не умирает, ее практически никак на ранних левелах не убить. Титан может постоянно спамить иллюзию, и она будет успевать отрегенивать, это пачка крипов, отрегенивать все хп. И тем самым у Титана будет постоянно урон.
Но самое жесткое, по идее, это в начале сатира, потом кентавры, потом нет, не урсы, потом тролли, потом...
加点现在都是一个2级火和2级的被动，
没错。那这边的话，
大陆是一个龙骑加大牛来去压制 Ramses 的 TB， 以及上路这里是 Crocky。
Было близко, на самом деле, конечно, сейчас забрать курицу. Такая легкая расслабленность от команды Liquid. Но еще хотелось бы сказать о том, что и сверху, и снизу у Liquid есть такая особенность на линии. В случае, если Ликан, ДК получают быстрый третий, они начинают очень жестко регенить. И тот, и другой герой. Да, здесь есть Doom с Блейдом, который способен этот реген выбивать, но тем не менее мы в этом патче уже хорошо знакомы с тем, что эти пассивки, они немножко дисбалансны, и их практически никак даже кастером суровым не перебить. Там может быть только Пугна способен вот так вот стоять против ДК и прогонять его.
Ну да, то есть с получением уровней на линиях будет намного тяжелее. Но это хорошее начало. Для Liquid, естественно, хорошее.
Не дать стакнуть сейчас довольно важно. Чиллинг тач пошел. Так, ну и Титан просто убегает, пока Чиллинг тач не меняется по хп. Там я слышу, где-то Спирит ходит.
Соло просто понимает, что надо делать ТП. Иначе потеряешь все лицо.
Да. Он уже знаком, в общем-то, с этой комбинацией. Тини очень хорошее начало. Мы видим на миде 9-5. Ну, это должно быть так. Инвокер здесь должен выкарабкиваться снизу, и, возможно, в лейте, до которого он попытается дожить, он будет силен. Но вначале ему должно быть тяжело. Если инвокер здесь отстоит хорошо линию, то, может быть, это First Blood. Соло убегал, но не добежал. First Blood на Солочем. И баунти руны сейчас еще достанутся Титану, что крайне неприятно, потому что сапог, сейчас уже какие-то транквилы появятся.
Невозможно герой Титан. Не знаю, опять отдаю твой Virtus.pro. Мы с Соло не так давно общались на эту тему, он рассказывал мне всякие истории интересные.
В неформальной обстановке.
Ну, естественно. Что Титан вот такой вот герой, что у него там столько возможностей, но сами Virtus.pro продолжают его как-то игнорировать, что ли, а отдают ликвидам. Ну, посмотрим, как это все обернется, но пока Титан в этой игре выглядит очень круто. Мало того, что он начинает доминировать линию, так он потом в лейте будет очень силен и против Террорблейда, да и просто.
Ой, какая руна хорошая для Миракла сейчас, это позволит ему подлоскитить. Ведь самая большая проблема не в том, что Ти не харасит, а в том, что он просто не дает крипов добивать. А вот с ДД, с Форжом уже шансы повышаются во много раз. Тем более у Ти нету брони. Ну, мы, в общем-то, посмотрели на мид, на нижнюю линию. Предлагаю поговорить немного о верхней. Здесь Думу пока все в порядке. 11-3. Ликан 9-4 отстает, но не сильно. И пока что эта линия, в принципе, Думсон Кинг не может особо сильно надавить на Ликана Оракла. И мы понимаем, что Ликан будет выносить отсюда.
Роджер пошел, использовал смог в первую очередь, чтобы поставить вард, но если подставится Миркл, как-то выйдет далеко, то может произойти атака, но думаю, что Миркл не допустит такой ошибки, прекрасно понимает, что сверху нет Сенкинга, нет смысла уж точно спускаться с рампы, поэтому Роджеру здесь, наверное, ничего не светит. Разве что, Ван его кинет в Миркл, но у них все равно, скорее всего, не хватит урона. Может быть, оно того и не стоит.
Так, здесь тем временем Санстрайк пошел в Солоча, очень много урона, Титан убегает от Террорблейда, ДК продолжает бить.
Солыч!
Красиво, но, к сожалению, не помогает, и начинают уже меситься с Рамзесом. Джейдж потерял практически все ХП, уходит отсюда. Да, красиво пытался сыграть Алексей Березин, но, к сожалению, это 0-2 на нижней линии, продолжает. Нет, не зачистили. Все-таки выжил вот этот вот самый главный сатир, который дает ауру. Ну и появились совы. Совы — это еще полбеды. Но, с другой стороны, их 3.
54 плюс 69. Вот это вот сумасшедший урон, конечно, у Джейча.
Транквил ботинки ранние, которые позволяют не уходить с линии и регенить.
В это время какая-то заруба сверху. Да, пытаются убить здесь волка. И должны добивать. Должны. Нет, не получилось.
Кура круто сыграл.
Ой, боже, Матумба еще чуть не умер от пассивки. Да, Кура здесь сейвит своего кэрри, пока все работает, хватает. Не хватает, точнее, урона немножко у Virtus.pro.
Необычно ликвиды заняли такую вот позицию, ну и вообще они все чаще выбирают такую позицию вторым номером. Если против китайских команд они играли так, здесь нападение на Ликана, еще раз Ликан использует хауль, Роджер очень больно, Роджер погибает, а Матумба Мэн выживает. Вот так вот здесь Волки и Оракл напрягают. Паша будет ли... Это был Клэп. Не дотянулся Клэпом, там бы мог забрать Матумба Мэн, теперь Пашу самого привязывают. Но там есть Infernal Blade, это очень опасно. Да, Матумба Мэн понимает, поэтому не идет вперед, тем более Роджер возвращается. В общем, ликвиды против ЕГЭ, ликвиды против ВП выбирают позицию игры вторым номером, что необычно для них. Они сами давили с Ченом или что-то подобное, использовали снизу. Чиллинг Тайд пытаются пробить майнд контрола, но это очень тяжело. У него 4-й уровень, он уже слишком силен.
Ну, вообще против Virtus.pro Liquid частенько играли вторым номером, так это назовем. То есть...
Против них тяжело первым, наверное.
Ну да, то есть Virtus.pro они настолько, как правило, агрессивны, но в этой игре у Virtus.pro... Ну, то есть вот этот фикс вообще роуминга, он, конечно, бьет во многом и по Virtus.pro тоже. То есть им удается все равно выигрывать, но они где-то не могут навязать теперь такую какую-то суперагрессивную игру. Вот если у них нет, например, Чена, с которым они продолжают роумить, ну что логично, потому что это Чен, то приходится стоять вот этими двойными линиями, а на двойных линиях как бы сложно навязать прям что-то такое серьезное противнику. Вы просто стоите, у кого герой лучше, тот и побеждает. И здесь пока у Liquid герои-то на линиях именно, ну как бы они не хуже, так скажем. Liquid забрали больше фрагов.
Бунтосов точно больше забрали.
Да.
Это тоже очень много золота сейчас, и мы видим, что отставание минимальное. Опять же, перетягивается сюда GH, что по вардам у ВП.
И Сенкинг вниз, снизу, возможно, будет нападение. Какая зеркальная игра от команд. Да, только что GH перетянулся наверх, сразу же Сенкинг перетянулся вниз.
ДК вот уходит.
Ну, теперь
but ends up using Scorched Earth a little bit earlier there, so now it's going to be even harder for him to kill Lycan if he does want to chase him down. Now that they're in this 1v1 matchup, it's hard to grab this kill solo without Scorched Earth. Maybe he'll be able to. He's definitely thinking about him. Matama Man's got to be really careful right now.
Holding it for now. No TP support will come. Elder Titan doesn't have one available, and Kuro already just burned his to go to the mid. So ET has to walk back up to the top.
Soren's kind of an interesting Doom build here. Helps him basically cast Devour whenever he wants, and also really abuse his creep nuke, which most of the time can't be afforded, but it's only 50 mana for some of these abilities, so with a Soren, he can just do an Inferno Blade and a Thunderclap all the time just to do easy harass. The smart way to play the hero makes him a lot more efficient in lane.
There's a little bit of chip damage by Ramses. I want to say onto the bottom tower when he burned his Metamorphosis, but it was purely to engage into mind control. But thanks to the 2 points up at Dragon Blood, and okay, now also Dragon 4 being burned by mind control. They want to have a crack at him. Yeah, GH going to go into the stomp. He doesn't have mana for a TP, slowed down by Caustic, but the high movement speed anyway from the ET Spirit just lets him keep running. Roger, the Observe Ward gave him a little bit of extra information if he wants to keep the chase going, but he does not have the movement speed to get there.
I'm pretty sure VP dropped that kill completely. Doom did not use Thunderclap. I'm pretty sure he had it before he got stomped, and GH ends up surviving. So at least they didn't use Doom, but either way, VP seems to have pretty dominant control of the lanes right now.
Yeah. Just try and stay on top as far as the net worth goes. Mind Control's having a good time on bottom, keeping Terrorblade as low as he can, even though Ramses does have the one punches available.
Yeah, his lane is definitely going well on Dragon Knight's side. Every time he attacks the tower, it's 100 damage. It'll add up in the end. But Roger's also getting a lot done here, constantly looking around and scaring and worrying Matama Man whenever he spots him.
Heavy rotation stop. Matama's going to trigger his shapeshift. They're going to look for the Spirit on top of Doom. Thanks to Fortune's End, they can hold him in position to get the follow-up stomp, and there is no way for Pasha just to run out of this one. Who does he want to Doom, if anyone, when no one does his rotation? The Burrow Strike will miss. No one hasn't decided on the target just yet. It'll be the Avalanche into GH. Couple of stick charges and some space. Kuro giving him that regeneration, and Virtus.pro, they haven't got the control they were looking for as Liquid will retreat.
That was a super big play by Kuro. He uses Fate's Edict while GH was in air. That stops the toss damage and completely nullifies VP's ability to do magic damage. Really sick play by Kuro. There's a high chance that GH goes down if it wasn't done by Kuro here. And he's basically just shutting down a lot of these rotations. And that was the mid player teleporting all the way to the top lane to try to make a kill happen. It doesn't happen. Miracle gets tower damage and just not good for VP.
They're still trying to force the top lane. The Stomp is making it difficult for Pasha and Roger. They'll pull the creep wave instead. And Matamaman's back to the jungle. He knows his two supports have that top lane locked down. Bottom lane, however, might be a little bit different. Ramses has a double damage rune and level 4 Metamorphosis just ready to go. So Mind Control will need a little bit of extra assistance to hold this bottom tier 1 tower.
At least he has Breathe Fire. It can reduce the damage that he's doing illusion-wise. It's one good thing, but he's going to play this safe here. He does catch just the illusion, though. So that means Ramsey's doing full damage, and this tower's going to take a lot of damage.
Yeah, fortification has to be burned by Team Liquid. ET's moved over. So again, GH understands where the attack is coming. He ends up getting the spirit damage in, so he'll say hello to Roger, plus 66 damage. But GH should beat into that Sand King.
Terrorblade loses a lot of health, but this is the danger territory here for Liquid, because that just means more Sunder potential if they catch a hero out of position. So they have to be very careful, and that's why GH moves these positions.
Sunstrike!
That was so sick. Roger doing his best there to get close to try to split the Sunstrike damage, but I think he would have had to commit a Burrow Strike to get closer faster. And a great play there by Liquid.
They're going to go for more. With that stun out, Roger has to Burrow Strike himself with the cold feet. Will control, Mind Control Roger. So low on life. He needs some space to regenerate up. GH, he's 9 HP. The Sunstrike will be off the mark. Spirits in 2, 1, 0. GH, he has to get it back under the tower. Chasing Roger, the cold feed. GH will run left. His Spirit runs right. Roger stays alive on 22 HP. Mind Control was a little bit too far away to get the extra damage. And now do we just wait the 8 seconds for Sunstrike to come back off cooldown? Nah, they're going to shrine it up. He'll be fine.
Oh, he'll go for it.
And then he'll end up being solo.
I don't know if it'll work, yeah. They're pinging now. Maybe he will not. They do get some tower damage. That kind of tells them that they want to shrine. And Mind Control might die for this, but he's going to get the tower very low.
He's got 1 charges as well as the ability to TP, but when there's that many stuns around it, not enough regeneration to save you, Mind Control. So bottom tower will be denied by Virtus.pro. And that's the first kill for Virtus.pro. Took him over 12 minutes to claim.
And again, Miracle slapping the mid tower. It's in deniable range once again, so maybe we won't see Liquid get any towers, but I mean, they're dead. They're just not last hits. That's good enough.
The Lycan Wolves are looking for it. Miracle will come in to help out too, but still no one denied the tower. But Tubberman and Miracle were committing for this. So 2 towers down.
They just can't gap close and get the disable off. Like, all of their heroes, while Liquid can do this bursty thing with Elder Titan and Sunstrikes, and it isn't really going to be until like Blink on Dragonite that somebody that's running away on VP side is super, because it takes a lot of heroes for Liquid to do these combos. One negative of what they're working with here. And we still haven't seen a Doom yet out of VP either, but Pasha has been around the map, showing up at the right times to pressure the right heroes.
Miracle, he's ready to fight. Their Dire Observer Ward saw him go down. Ramses now tries to go up the hill. There's your combination from Miracle, and Ramses tries to sunder. The continuous stuns from Mind Control and Miracle go to work, while in mid lane, the initiation was onto Matumberman. So a core for core trade-off, and VP will get damage into a tier 1 tower now.
And still not too much though. So they still have Doom ready to go at all points. Kind of a cool build.
Toss, throwing back into the river. Kuro, no one with that early blink dagger is able to put it to work, and there's nothing Kuro can do to save his life. No one actually gets a double kill out of this. And Virtus.pro keep the pressure up, but they're still giving split push. Mind Control is on top of that tier 1 tower.
And during this whole time, the best thing about split push is you're usually killing entire creep waves. So even if Mind Control does die for these pushes, he's getting closer and closer to Blink Dagger, which at that point is just going to make him a great tanking and teamfight hero. So it's going fine for VP. They technically have an advantage in terms of gold, but Liquid seems to be getting a little bit more out of the map, perhaps.
Yeah, your technical advantage, you're right. Like it's only ever spiked just slightly over the 1K mark. Gold-wise advantage for Virtus.pro.
If Liquid had gotten those last hits on towers, they'd certainly be in a big gold advantage right now. Maybe not big, but a gold advantage.
I'm still waiting for Doom. Bottom lane, Fire Strike is out. They found Matumberman. He's looking to get out of this one, but with the epicenter, there's too much slow, too much damage. And Roger will get the kill onto Matumba.
Pretty easy kill right now. On the other side of the map, Ramses is sitting to push out the top lane, but Liquid's setting up for this one. Yep, this could definitely be a kill if they get the stomp. Okay.
They need that stomp to happen so the Sunstrike can connect. It's almost max Exort Doom. It's onto Mind Control. Ramses turning into Metamorphosis. Kuro is there to protect him as long as he possibly can. Just give more life regeneration, but Solo and no one also arrive into the party. They'll group them together, tossing Kuro in. Mind Control and Kuro both going down to the 3-position Doombringer.
It was a good attempt at a save, but that was just way too much damage. They were taking magic, they were taking tons of Terrorblade physical that whole duration, and a great chase and definitely good use of Doom. VP's not going to slow down. They'll look for the next kill. Matumberman's still been ultra pressured here. They know he just respawned. Look at this. They ran straight. They knew where he would be. They just have to gap close.
The Observer Ward gives them all the information they require. There they go. So they're waiting for everything to get brought down. Oh, Ice Blast. Pop. And goodbye, Lycan. The jungle is no longer a safety zone. It's a danger zone.
It's just so sick how they did that. They didn't even defend Ramses pushing the top lane. They knew that Liquid was not going to be able to defend right now, so they instantly smoke and go where he's going to farm. And by doing so, it means that Ramses at perfect efficiency, and then they can instantly transition to the next objective. So they took this one objective and they turned it into a kill and a second tower. The VP's now all of a sudden in a huge position win.
And they're looking to keep the pressure up. That Blink Dagger is not there for DK, so Liquid don't have that initiation. All they have is the Spirit Stomp for GH to stall the attack from Virtus.pro. There's still no points up in natural order. It's a 3-2 currently for GH. He needs some space, he needs some levels. Very under-leveled ET.
It's okay though, because he can turn ganks around, and once enemy heroes die in his vicinity, he's going to get power leveled by the much higher level opponents. And I don't think it's a huge deal if he doesn't have his ultimate, for example. I'm more worried about maybe some natural order levels, since they are having a lot of trouble getting kills. So VP will take a small moment where they actually back up and grab some farm, but it just means they're going to grab things from the base, like this blink on Doom, which now makes his life a lot easier.
Miracle's living in a little bit of fear, hiding in the tree line on the bottom is a 4-man smoke up from Liquid, hoping for some kind of option, but Miracle's still not showing himself. He only wants to fight under the tower. The Ice Blast, well, okay.
He's just very worried about VP diving right now.
Oh, here they come. Team Liquid, blink in, stun. They want the kill on the Terrorblade. The Sunstrike may help him to do it. In fact, it does do it. Ramses will fall. Still a 1-for-1 trade-off. There's that Lycan had really no say in his own death. Pasha on the back of Kuro and Mind Control. They're split up. That's the medic as well as the primary carry. Kuro can't get enough damage out, but Mind Control can blink and get the stun. Yes! Avalanche from no one. It was a pebble away from connecting.
Solo's small mistake there. Needed to attack to prevent the blink into the trees, but ultimately they tried to finish off with the toss and not long enough on the cooldown. But either way, Liquid knew the reason Miracle was sitting so back is because they knew that VP was either healing or that they were on a pressure move to the top tier 2. So they played it well, they initiated, but they just didn't quite have enough damage to clean up the rest of the fight. They pick up the Terrorblade though, and that's definitely the best and most dangerous hero to kill at the start.
Yep. And the kill went to Miracle during the fight too. So he's now top net on the field. Roger on the run. Will be easily successful. Team Liquid not wanting to fight when Shapeshift is down, Dragon Form is down.
Tiny looking for kills again, and they know where Matemaman likes to farm.
In inside of his own jungle, it's not like he's an anti-mage, he's more maneuverable. You're already going to start with the Reflexo, Matemaman trying to get back to his tier 2 tower. Support is coming in from Team Liquid, but can Matemaman survive long enough? No, he cannot. The final tree snap will break his back. Solo and Roger are starting to flank around the side too, so you can jump in. But the initiation and the combination was all on the illusion of Solo. It was the illusion route to Roger, and Solo combined together. False promise, protecting Mind Control for the moment. Kuro needs to give him more life. Kuro, however, has nothing more to give. His life is forfeit. Mind Control does survive.
VP is playing this game impeccably. They're just pressuring multiple areas of the map at the same time. They know what the limits of their heroes are. They give up on the Dragon Knight, knowing that he's going to regen too much, and they can just eat Oracle for free. And they just own the enemy jungle. Liquid hasn't had any space to really make the things happen that they want. I haven't felt any impact from Alike in this game. He's been pressured, and now he just doesn't contribute to fights very well until he gets some survivability. But he can't just rush BKB and think that everything's going to be fine. It's just a tough Lycan game now.
And he's still committed to the Necro books.
I feel like he has to finish it. It's definitely one of the best ways the hero can become useful. Because if he goes BKB, then that contributes or makes him over the team fighting.
Blink up, initiation, as the Ice Blast is coming in. It's real problems for Liquid. They get hit by this so hard. Kuro able to deny Miracle. Oh, Miracle gets a revenge. Mind Control can't go anywhere. Locked inside the cold feet. Roger hiding inside the sandstorm, but they had the dust out, so at least they're able to wrap him up. Underneath the tier 3 towers is where Liquid are currently dying. No one in Pasha, just unstoppable.
They're playing so well. I mean, the only thing that went well for Liquid in that fight was that Kuro was able to kill his ally so that he couldn't give golden experience to the enemy team, which was a good grab because Invoker was certainly going to die there. But it's only at a loss of their 2 supports on VP side, and their cores continue farming in this time period, collecting items that are going to be hard for Liquid to fight against in the late game.
I thought no one's still hunting Matemaman. He's got one job currently. Ensure the Lycan never gets big, so let's see that fight once more. And no easy combination, just walking up the hill just to crack Miracle, and Kuro, yep, denies him, then gets doomed himself, so no more influence from the Oracle.
He was doomed, right? Did Invoker get doomed? No, he didn't.
No.
I actually am very confused how he was able to deny him. What am I missing? I'm missing something.
He had Ice Blast, would have been affected by Caustic.
I mean, but the only thing you should be able to deny is Doom. That's why I'm confused, right?
Infernal?
That should not be deniable. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I'll look at the Reddit thread later, I guess. I'm confused.
Someone will explain it. But for now, Team Liquid are just in recovery mode. That gold graph has really started to spike up. Now almost 10,000 net worth advantage. Virtus.pro 8,000 for the experience. It's just going to start to increase as Team Liquid, with every single engagement that happens, prove that they're just not able to. So let's see this in slow motion.
All right, Burrow Strike, Ice Blast, looking for debuffs. He was dusted, and he got Purifying Flamed. I saw that part, and then he just denied him. I feel like he shouldn't be able to. I still don't know.
Isn't it an ability from Oracle that can do that?
I don't think so, but I might be wrong.
All right.
I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll find out later.
Yep. Let's focus on the hero now. So Team Liquid, they 5-man group up, ready to fight up on top lane. They don't have these BKBs available yet, just the level 2 Necro books, and they're hoping that VP will oblige them. You were mentioning previously that Virtus.pro one big core kill in favor of Team Liquid can just start to turn this around for all the supports. But that tier 2 tower goes down, and Virtus.pro, they are pushing rapidly into the mid lane, and Team Liquid need to come back. You have TP on the Lycan, they're trying to get the best trade-off possible. Miracle can slow the push, so the tier 1 tower on top does go the way of Liquid. Miracle getting blasted on that.
I think I figured it out. Maybe not. I'm not sure.
You look back through the combat log, it's going to pester you.
I think it was that Kuro attacked him, which put him within Ice Blast threshold range before the Ice Blast tick caused the kill. So because Kuro was the one to put him below that threshold, he ended up dying. The source was Oracle. That's why when you attack somebody into threshold range on A and it gets them low enough, you get the kill and not A, even though technically it was the threshold, you know? It was something like that, but I'm not sure how I was able to attack him, because you should only be able to do that when he's doomed or something. I'm not sure. But I think it was Ice Blast related, pretty sure. Mystery may be solved.
Maybe solved. Relax, Badge. We'll just focus on the news coming up. And I'll give you another thing to debunk. Level 3 Necrobook is now done over on the top. So they'll get a little bit more detection. Difficult when you've got a Shadow Blade from no one already there. Here comes your Ice Blast. The Avalanche will connect Matumba. Broken free with a False Promise. Sunstrike position's really good. The solo will fall. They're tossing back Mind Control, but Matumba on the front lines trying to battle against no one. Rogers prepping up the epicenter. He'll jump in, goes over towards Kuro. Dust is there for the reveal, so no way to hide inside the sandstorm. Roger is falling down too. A double kill for Miracle. They're feeding the beast, and I don't mean the dragon. I mean Miracle.
They really needed that after the last couple of fights, and a great initiation with Dragonite finally pays off. And the hero that they found was Ancient Apparition. That's the guy that they want to kill. It's by far the squishiest, and that's where Liquid needs to start to win the fights. Unless they can kill something like Tiny or Doom or wait until VP spread out, that's probably the best fight they can look for at the moment.
Matumba's able to get rid of that Observer Ward that Kuro was looking for with the Sentry. So vision gets a little bit more restricted for Virtus.pro, but they've got one that's very, very deep. It's inside the Dire base on the top. So it's watching the Courier coming out with the smoke. Don't know if they actually want to get any kind of information from this at all. But they're going for Roshan. Okay, Virtus.pro.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? I feel like they've been dominating this game for like 15 minutes. Normally when you're winning, what you do is take Roche, but their heroes aren't great at it is the reason that they probably haven't yet. And to even take it, it might take them committing Metamorphosis, which
the ET Spirit is going to come and have a look. So yeah, okay, they know.
This is hard to do, right? Because the ET Spirit can scout it out. You have to commit Metamorphosis, which then makes the next couple fights a little bit weird. But I think it's definitely time for them to go for this.
Well, looks like Liquid are not going to do anything about contesting it. Miracle's pushing the bottom lane with Forge Spirits. The Stomp is just slowing things down. The Wolves hoping for a deny, but it won't happen. Sunstrike, the timing. Oh, it was close, but not close enough.
Not a bad attempt, but that puts TP very close to his own BKB, and he's definitely been the core that's been focused in all of these early engagements, and that's not going to be possible anymore unless he gets chain stunned into Sunstrike. But if he is ready for the fight, he's going to pop the BKB early, he's going to walk in, and he's going to get a full damage contribution.
Team Liquid are on the way. The Ice Blast flying to the bottom lane to do a little bit of scouting. It won't find anybody. So Virtus.pro no one's hunting on the bottom lane, and they don't see anyone inside the base of Team Liquid. But they're on full retreat. The Observe Ward will give nice high ground vision for Liquid, but no one is close by. So right now, Liquid, if they're going to get something out of this, it's that bottom tower. Maybe it'll help when Pasha TP's in like this.
They don't know, though, necessarily.
But there's no Metamorphosis. This is the issue now for Virtus.pro. They don't have that high damage. Secondary TP's coming. Blink, Doom, Miracle is the primary target. Kuro going to start giving him the life. They need to keep him alive for the moment. But Toss throwing Ramses in deep into the fight. And the Ice Blast is going to help out hugely. Connecting onto Miracle. Ice Blast and Doom. By Invoker. Pasha will lose his life at this, however. So it's a 1-for-1 trade-off. As a big streak to end for Matumba as Ramses getting tossed up near Matumba. He needs that extra damage, and Matumba can just get back out again. No avalanche, no stun, no control.
The snack was just too tempting for Doom there. He gets the 200 gold, but he kills himself in the process. But ultimately,
that's what happened.
That is what happened. Ultimately, very good for VP, grabbing the kill. His initiation was missed slightly, but now they're going to catch Oracle as well, and that's 2 dead heroes, and it's time to go high ground here.
Yep. GH has to delay this 27 seconds. The fortification is not available for Team Liquid. And the stuns, Mind Control. Terrorblade put to sleep for the moment. They lost their Courier as well in the middle of all of that.
Someone on Liquid misclicking it, apparently. Or angry. Could be feeding, you never know.
They do not want to burn this buyback on the Invoker. They need more time. Ramses, they can't work out if they can kill off the range and the melee, so no one's attacking the melee. Ramses attacking the range racks. They both avoid the Stomp. And battling on either side, but the Invoker is up. Ramses is low. You know he would love a Sunder. The Sunstrike into backline solo. Almost walked back into it.
The way they're
And where's the jump?
so
No
good.
one. He goes in deep. EMP Tornado with the ice path and the storm. Enters two of them. Here comes your ice blast. Miracle. They're caught with this one. Mataman lucky to be knocked, but then again the mirror. It's just the images coming out from Terrorblade. They're their own worst enemy. Team Liquid. No one. He may even get out this one with the Inferno Blade stopping the DK. No one is living in the tree lines. Mind Control can't reach him. Liquid were battling inside the base, and Mind Control is stranded outside of it. Breathe Fire can't even reach no one. VP's positioning. It's the perfect split.
The only thing that goes bad is AA being tossed in, but VP is just outmaneuvering Liquid at this point. They have better diving heroes. They've got survivability. They've got Aegis. The way that Ramses was even pressuring the racks was extremely safe. And Liquid also trying to think once ahead of them, but VP just has the advantage here, and they're playing slightly better.
This is beyond problematic for Team Liquid. Virtus.pro claim the entire mid racks. They will back out. Things were looking a little bit okay for Liquid, even with that bottom fight. The trade-offs for the streak that was taken away from the Doombringer. The money was good for Liquid, but they just couldn't hold after Oracle got picked, and they couldn't delay long enough for Miracle to be in fighting shape.
On the bright side, there is going to be a lull here, so that's going to allow Liquid to finally move across the map a bit. And Miracle does have enough levels now where he feels comfortable using Wex spells as well. And it helped a little bit in the fights, but they're still having some lockdown problems. And VP still team fighting very smart. They're always going for the back line, hitting up Oracle as he comes forward to try to defend an ally. Always looking for those opportunities. And their heroes are just scaling so well with their items. Tiny Shadowblade into AC. Now he's going to buy a BKB. That thing's going to last for a very long duration for a long period of time in this game. And when you're up against an Invoker, that's the exact item you need to try to prevent Miracle from being able to solo carry the game.
Going to seem like an eternity for Team Liquid in those engagements. How do you control? I'm still not feeling the power from Lycan. With the plate mail, at least he's got some armor to work with, but he's still so under-leveled.
Yeah, that's actually a big issue. It's just, how does he damage somebody like Doom who has a plate mail already? And all these guys have BKBs, so it's not even like he gets to stand there and auto-attack. He has to fear these AoEs that come through, like Burrow Strike and Ice Blast. See, if he knows he gets caught by those, it's going to severely limit his ability to dive, and he has to worry about getting killed just with a stun or two.
Yep.
It's a tough fight for him, so he needs to be able to stay alive, be around for some of these hero kills, then he could catapult ahead in levels.
Yep.
Or really, Liquid would probably be happy with any deaths that they can get on the enemy team.
No, they would have been ecstatic just getting the kill on Pasha.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is beyond hard. They need to get a better vision advantage. They need that initiation stun to work for Liquid to get back into this. In the meantime, Virtus.pro just has to keep the status quo, continuously farming very effectively, especially when you have, like, Doombringer's already so far in front. And like, he's catching up to the Invoker at this point to claim the top 3 positions. Deval's always going to help with this.
That's a free Midas, right? Doesn't actually have to buy his own, so
yep.
His team's winning. He's doing really well, 6-1-7 here.
Liquid are preparing again on bottom lane. They're hoping for good engagement, so Lycan just keeps the pressure up. Miracle can give some forward spirits. Not certain if they can really force this engagement.
They're in slightly better positioning than they were before, though, because Dragonite finally finished his BKB, so at the lead, he doesn't have to worry about being in danger. He can just try to maximize his damage. Not that there's a lot of it right now. He's even going the health perk over the damage, but
But the top lane's also pushing in.
And they have to do moves like this. Yeah, they're going to get ice blasted, and sometimes VP will just avoid the kills, but Liquid does have to make these maneuvers outside of their base. Otherwise, there's no way they'll catch up, because VP will just be able to split up a little bit. They have the better individual gankers and the better 2-hero gankers, whereas Liquid can't get caught by themselves or separately, because there's going to be a second Raxnet there. At that point, the chances of winning the game are going to be so much lower.
Yeah, because their counter push is terrible compared to Virtus.pro's. Like, Virtus.pro can just start cleaving through waves. Even SK by himself is a great split pusher.
And they just have better catch, too. A lot more Blink Daggers. More Shadow Blades, 3 blinks on VP side. Liquid has some, but if their heroes get caught, they're almost for sure dead.
Yep.
Lycan included, really.
And they're going to start to get kited. That Skadi is rapidly approaching for Ramses.
That'll be pretty nice.
It'll be difficult for anyone to keep up in the fights. But Virtus.pro being very patient about it all. They still have a tier 2 tower in the bottom lane to bring down. They're using the Ice Blast to keep the split push under control.
As a whole, though, the Skadi won't do that much against Liquid's heroes. I mean, if Lycan's in ulti form, he doesn't really care that much. Maybe Dragonite is definitely countered by it once he pops BKB, but it's probably just a safe survivability, tankiness item, the standard Terrorblade transition, and he wants HP more than something like Raw Butterfly, so Nothing that weird about his build, and it's not necessarily going to super counter his opponents, but it's definitely the right item to pick up here.
I like how the couriers say hi to get that. So the Shiva's guard flies up to the Radiant secret shop.
Yep, definitely a lot safer, and that's Matumba Man's.
Yep.
Kind of an interesting item choice here, but it will give some slow against the enemy team, and reduce their attack speed is very useful this game, especially against the elite.
And he really needed something. But buyback-wise, it's not a happy place for him. No one apart from the ET has buyback on Team Liquid. Because the push comes high ground. Not seeing VP force it. They can just go for the easier target, which will be the Shrine, making sure Liquid cannot TP in behind them. Was opened up after they took out that mid lane of Rax.
But they've got a gem as well at this point with their advantage, so any wards that Liquid wants are probably not going to be around. Now, they do have wolves at least. They can scout with those, and that's what they've been doing very heavily.
They're coming quite quickly.
They can also just eat the wolves, so...
Where's your first target? Danger. Miracle, Ramses, the smoke breaks. They know someone's in the trees. GH, wait for the spirit. Necrobook's being burned as well. Don't worry about Invis. Roger's nearby. Mind Control needs a good jump start, and now he's found it. It's no one's tiny, but the BKB comes up, and here comes Pasha as well. Ice Blast, no! Miracle's in huge worlds of problems. Kuro can't save him anymore. The ET splitter will buy some level of space for Team Liquid, but Miracle, he'll pop in just a second, and that second is now. Mind Control can't retreat either. They're right behind him, slowed down by the Skadi. The ET Stomp creates a little bit of space. Blink Dagger now off cooldown down the river.
No way, is it follow him? Okay. I didn't know if that was going to keep going all the way, but basically what won that team fight was status resistance on Tiny. He was initiated on. He should have been bursted in that moment, but all of a sudden he gets to pop BKB far earlier than a normal hero. And that's because any stuns that hit him only last for like 50% of the duration. So Tiny ends up getting his BKB off, and all of a sudden Liquid's initiation turns around the opposite way. Even with Invoker getting doomed, at least if they kept Tiny, the fight would have been winnable in some ways.
Yeah. It's like the perfect situation for Team Liquid, apart from the fact that it was Tiny. Take any other hero into that position.
Or they would have had to have some kind of disable follow-up or knowledge that he was going to be there. That way they could all do as much damage as possible in like the first second or so before his BKB gets popped. But it's a hard position to chain stun that guy, and because he buys the BKB late, even doing physical damage through that feels impossible.
Virtus.pro are on the hunt once more. Team Liquid have been burning a lot of smokes, but you know what VP are looking for? It's Matumberman. He's walking directly into them. No one, Avalanche Stars, Ice Blast, boom.
Dude.
Goodbye, Lycan.
They're playing so safe. They were smoked. They walked past bounty runes without picking them up because they did not want to let Liquid see the bounties disappearing. Like, they know kills are all that matters here. They don't want to gamble on anything with this huge advantage.
Well, this is how they get their opportunity, just to take that high ground, take the game, and potentially be one match away from eliminating Team Liquid.
Doom does provide the solutions. Invoker and Miracle especially has in many cases carried his team from a position like this with just amazing use of spell abilities. But Ags is pretty countered if you get doomed and you can't cast a spell for a whole 16 seconds. And that's what makes it tough. Every team that fights, or every time that they end up fighting and Doom goes on Invoker, Oracle can save him potentially if their fight goes about even, but he's been having trouble doing that and also staying alive.
It'd be so hard as well to get away from Pasha. He stole the Purge creep. So he's got Blink Purge with the Shivas, with the Infernal Blade, with the Doom. He's just a disable central.
And the cooldown's so low, and he's got so much mana, this is fine. He could just basically permanently chase whoever he dooms and go for the kill. And now I feel like if Liquid had won the laning stage a little bit more, and then they were doing stuff like sieging towards VP side, then Oracle would look like an amazing hero right now. But he doesn't have any items to defend himself other than Wand. So it's like every fight starts, he's not feeling as much impact as we've seen in the other games when Oracle has been played by Kuro. Very hard game for Liquid when they're trying to catch up here.
But they're getting as much space as they can, forcing out the top lane, but they're committing a lot just to get Miracle more money.
I mean, that's basically what they need. They've got Lincoln Sphere. BKB afterwards would certainly solve some issues, especially because if he BKBs, then the only way to break Lincoln's most likely he would have to get an ensnare creep on Doom, or I think that's about it. Only thing that'll go through BKB. Abyssal Blade.
Butterfly is done for Ramses. You got a Crystallis into the Tiny. So damage increase for no one. He wants the full Daedalus. He's going to hit hard, especially if they can give him extra life. 10 seconds until Roshan will spawn up. Virtus.pro just have to be patient as the line gets drawn. Not quite certain if that was actually drawn by no one. Cutting the line down the mid lane. So Roshan's up, and VP should be able to take this quite comfortably. Aegis and Cheese, only the second Roshan.
Oh, the gem that Liquid has, they actually stole it from Roger. When he died in the last fight, they must have snuck that one out of there. It's something to work for at least. Now they feel like they have better control over the area near them. And with Elder Titan, they can definitely scout all the weird spots very easily with no resources. So they scout that Roche is being done, but will they? They're kind of shifting over, but I think they're going to be too late.
It's way too late. The only place they can find from is inside the base when they got buybacks. And got buybacks on DKAA as well as the ET.
And the turtling continues.
And Doob.
Cheese is going to sit on the Tiny in case he wants to use it. TB's ability to just respawn, I mean, even getting killed in the first place looks hard. 2,600 HP on Terrorblade with the 9-second
miracle. Okay. He actually just jumped on the back, putting out the Cataclysm. He wants to kill quickly onto Solo, remove that negative regeneration, then onto the Sand King. It's just enough, but there's so much damage from behind. Miracle just gets destroyed. DK is now doomed up too, and Liquid is split into multiple parts. No way for Kuro. Well, he'll try his TP, but that will not be successful. He knows there's not enough regeneration to stop him from popping.
They're still on the backline though. Dragon Knight's Doom has just ran out. Maybe they can go back in and find a kill.
Maybe, no, but you don't have the Invoker, and no one's actually looking towards mind control.
When he needs to blink, oh, he gets hit. This is really bad now.
Turns for a Dragon Tail stun. He'll be able to blink. He can TP as well if he'd like to, but it's inside the base. Ramses has burned the Metamorphosis, feeding into that melee Rax. GH is there to help out. Meanwhile, Mataman caught outside the base. Whoops indeed, and GG is called out from Liquid. They were trying so many things, but none of it working. Virtus.pro, clean and surgical in their attack. Take game one.
The lane win against the Lycan just proved very, very beneficial to them. VP as a whole just was able to get more farm and transition into these really strong ganks, and Liquid never really got a strong fight. And I think a lot of that was on the back of the Doombringer. I think a lot of players on VP's side played well. Probably all of them, but man, they really limited the amount of deaths that they had. Solo died like once or twice in his lane, but it was never catastrophic.
Yeah.
jump the first time Slacks comes around. Where he's like, hey guys, you want to do my little skit? And everybody's like, oh God, that sounds so cringy. That sounds like the worst thing you could possibly do. And it actually ends up being hilarious, but
and cringy.
It's all and cringy, but it's the players who took that first step when Slacks first came on the scene. So.
Those first explorers, we salute them.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I thought when you said it was the Slacks effect, I thought you meant like, you know, he has this overpowering way of, you know, overpowering them to do whatever he wants to do.
That
could be that too.
Is also true.
I feel like it's almost the opposite. The players have control over him. He just doesn't realize it. Just think about
next
it for a bit.
level.
It is
That's
kind of next
totally
level.
next level.
I know.
Liquid have got a lot of work to do in this game. A lot of work. Can you see them coming back into this? Because as you rightly pointed out before we started this series, they haven't been playing at the level Liquid play. You know, they're still good, they're still great players, but just haven't been playing at quite that top level that we've seen in the past.
I mean, of course it's possible. We just talked about anything's possible, you know? You can replace a member of your team and immediately win a major, and then perhaps going for a back-to-back for Virtus.pro. We'll see, but yeah, you're right. They do have their work cut out for them, and I think a lot of it will start with the draft, obviously, as it always does with Dota. But again, I don't even think the draft is necessarily the issue. I mean, Invoker just, as much as I want it to be good, it just has not been good recently. Or by recently, I mean the last 6 months.
I thought you were going to say the last 6 years. It was like, whoa, hold on a minute.
Only.
It was good 4 years ago.
But that's the thing about Invoker, though. Like, it doesn't matter how bad. He's always a very entertaining hero to watch, right?
Yeah, a bit like Storm.
It's almost every single one of the game carries that aren't regular.
Virtus.pro's turn to ban. Team Liquid's turn to ban.
Very entertaining hero to watch, right?
Yeah, a bit like Storm.
It's almost every single one of those later game carries that aren't regularly picked up. I think of the OD is really the only hero that I'm kind of acceptable of right now. That is like kind of regularly picked up as more of a late game hero. Terrorblade is another one. And again, it's because they're impactful early.
Sneak through the little
Matumba's like,
bands,
if we're going to lose this game, I'm going to do the most damage. I don't care. I want those stats,
I'm going to be the most obnoxious.
I want those fantasy points. You know, very important.
They've got both of the, they've got the percentage-based damage and that really obnoxious damage over time.
That's true.
This is one hell of an opening.
That is the old combo. Yeah. That is disgusting, actually. Yeah, that is super. You just need Zeus just to finish him off, just in case they don't die to the poison. Right?
True, true. When you're hit by this combination and, like, you might even kill somebody, but you're walking away from that fight and you're watching. Am I going to die? You know, and inevitably you do, because this combination is just far too strong. Virtus.pro, though, I think this is going to be one of those games where you just need to run through heroes. You need to make sure when you jump on the Venomancer, he absolutely dies. You don't allow the Ancient Apparition to be able to set up on you and get those good ice blasts. So I want to see some good old-fashioned VP aggression run at you.
Good old-fashioned CIS aggression. They're going to go with the Sanking and the Disruptor again. Not uncommon.
Are we seeing Tiny again? Oh, he got banned,
He
actually.
got banned, yeah. That was a change up from Virtus.pro this time. That's what let the Veno through.
Neither team picked up Naga Siren.
That's true. Naga's there.
Does it get banned in this second phase?
imagine, but you never know.
Nor Death Prophet, though hard to fit in for VP's second pick after the Ancient Apparition is.
Now, I don't know if they actually run this that often with this combination, but I'm just thinking, like when I see AA Venom, I think, how can this be any worse in terms of playing against these heroes, right? I think Tinker being added to that would...
With his rocket spam
I'm just trying to think of like what tilts the enemy the most, right? Tinker's got to be towards the top of the list.
You're hit by all of that, and the Spectre comes in to finish up all those heroes. You know,
of course.
She jumps to one, watch, he's dead. Jump to the other one.
All right. They do run alongside sometimes.
Enchantress is one of the most tilting heroes to play against, actually, especially in a 1v1. You just don't win. Everybody loses.
And we were talking about how the matchup against DK, but last time we already had kind of our offlaners. It's still open. Both the offlane positions are still kind of there because VP can run that Sand King in either the 3 or 4 position. But DK will be banned down this time around. Maybe it'll be picked versus the Terrorblade. They would have done that before if VP get their hands on it. And apparently Liquid are going to leave it out there in the pool.
Well, I'm looking for a Juggernaut this game. I'm having a little feeling on the old Jug.
You know, funny you say that. I was with you on that. I actually think VP Juggernaut would not be so bad. The Healing Word effect against Ice Blast, okay, you're not going to be able to have fun with that. But I like the direct single target damage that you be able to employ that's kind of uninterruptible. You know, just get on top of that Venomancer and, you know, tear him apart with the Omni Slash.
You know how good it feels to get Galed and then spin, and it actually works as a Dispel now again?
Oh, and look at that. Virtus.pro actually are the ones who banned Juggernaut away from Team Liquid.
Okay. I don't want to say this too loud. But there is a horrible hero that Liquid like to run Venom. Is it even?
Is it Broodmother?
10 seconds remaining.
Well, against Sand King, I knew
the moment you were talking obnoxious here, I was like, oh, Broodmother. Yes.
Like, let's say, for instance, they pick Brood here, right? Let's just say. You have a Sand King already. That should be enough, right? In lane against the Brood? Or is that not as potent anymore since they've upgraded the Spiders? I actually have not seen that matchup yet.
Against one hero?
Brood. So, against Sand King. Because, again, like, you pick a Brood in the old days, you pick a Sand King, you pick a Tide, something to that effect, and it just kind of nullifies the hero to a large degree. But I don't know about these days.
I think it's better for, like, because of the mid matchup, it's better for heroes like where we saw the Omni Knight, who has a big nuke that definitely kills the Spiders in part because of that big pure. Naga Siren, so we're going to see the VP Pasha Naga Siren. I was a big fan of it last time around. I thought it was really smart, especially against the Lifestealer. It was a counter pick to the Lifestealer last time around. Here, I think it's just, in general, a kind of both a setup and a slowdown to the game, where if you do get hit by the Ice Blast, you can try and stop some of that follow-up damage. With the song.
They have amazing team fight right now. You set up the song, you get the easy kinetic field, static storm, epicenter, burrow strike. Literally, I'm just naming all their skills because it all works together at this point.
It's just a fusion.
Plus Meteor Hammer, of course.
And Earth Spirit and Ancient Apparition are not heroes. They like to maintain a certain distance on their enemy and then go in on their own terms. They do not like being surrounded by these heroes, and neither does Venomancer, honestly, because he could just get focused down here. Imagine a sleep into Disruptor, Static Storm. There's not a whole lot you can do about that combination. They're actually going to pick the Tidehunter into it. Tidehunter has been a response to Naga Siren setups a number of times because he's got the sustain. He's not really a hero you can focus down. And he's got this big Ravage turnaround. But it's up against the Disruptor, so they do have the Silence lockdown. Not 100% sold on this pick just yet.
5 seconds remaining.
Kraken Shell, unfortunately, will not take that off. I mean, it is AoE Doom if you get hags and all that good stuff, right? So... We'll see.
Turn to bat.
And the Luna in place of the Gyrocopter.
Okay.
Just, I mean, I think that was perfect because I was thinking, okay, Gyrocopter is gone. You want to be able to have another hero that's well set up by the team fight aspect of the Naga Siren, but you also want a hero that's going to be able to outscale what is currently set up from Team Liquid, which is just kind of a Venomancer core and a Tidehunter. I think you can still beat that. An early BKB hero is going to be fantastic as well with all this magic damage and the AoE disable of Ravage. Ignore all of it so far.
And right now, Liquid, their lineup does not go very late right now at all, especially against what VP have to offer. I mean, Luna, one of the best. Naga can transition into a core. or into position 1 in a lot of cases, even as the off lane. So, is there anything they can pick up for Liquid that actually do so? Pretty late game. I mean, do they want to just end the game early, possibly, with some hero pick?
Well, I think if you're Virtus.pro, you're going to ban the Terrorblade, because the Terrorblade versus Luna matchup is really unfortunate with Reflection.
Yeah, that's very annoying.
I think, but we'll see. They do need some physical damage, though, for sure. Simply because I think they're a little bit too focused on magic damage so far with their first 3 picks.
I mean, even VP right now, that's quite heavy magic damage as well. They have some physical DPS in the late game with Luna, but still, mostly magical heroes for both teams.
Yeah, I feel a little bit better about theirs simply because we do have this reliable physical damage later on in the game with the Luna. They're going to take away a puck, another initiator. Roan out of the pool.
I don't know what wraps this up for Liquid, though. We need a miracle hero.
5 seconds remaining.
That will help them transition to the late game somehow.
Virtus.pro's turn to pick.
And they do ban the TB, as you said.
How about a Timber?
Timber against Ensnare and Disruptor.
Very horrible, actually.
I mean, as much as I want to see a Timber, it's one of my favorite heroes to watch, for sure. Don't think this will be...
10 seconds.
It will work out for them.
Tough ask, isn't it, Cap?
It's hard to fit in, but maybe Lifestealer?
5 seconds remaining.
That was banned.
Oh.
Yeah, it was banned.
Oh, yeah, Liquid took that out earlier. Yeah, I was saying for VP, it's weird to fit in, but the magic immunity, I think you want kind of a durable hero that gets on top of these and can sort of lock himself on there. That's why I was a fan of the Juggernaut as well.
Which they banned.
Maybe the BK's out.
Turn to pick.
Queen of Pain. Right. My goodness. All right.
Let's see then. Where does Liquid go?
Yeah, you get those.
Noxious.
We might see a lot of denies this game. I think that's 2 out of the 3 heroes that have deniable spells, if I'm not mistaken. Shadow Strike and Venomous Gale. Very important stuff.
5 seconds remaining.
The little things.
How's, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a hard carry, like Void or something. I don't know how good that is this game. It doesn't really feel very miracle-y either. Miracle-y?
He's played a lot of PL recently.
Yeah, Phantom Lancer against the AoE is not so good. There's so much AoE control.
Pugna could be okay.
For him. So what is he going to pull out? He's going to pull out the PL.
I don't like this lineup.
I don't like it either.
Okay.
That means they're going to win, pretty sure.
Yeah, pretty sure that is exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got SK and all his AoE, Queen of Pain, ton of AoE there. You've got the nice Static Storm lockdown against this with the setup of the Naga Siren against the PL on top of that. I kind of feel like Liquid and that last pick was put into a corner.
It was very limited, wasn't it? There wasn't a huge amount left out there. So go for comfort, I guess. All right, where are we going with predictions?
I'm going VP. I really like their lineup. I've liked it from the first 3 pickups. Only thing I really like about Liquid is the fact they have gotten Matumba Man Venomancers, so VP.
That's never a good thing.
There's guaranteed to be some damage in this game.
Yeah, I mean,
Shannon, where you going?
As much as I like PL nowadays, because he does scale a lot better, especially since he's got that level 25 talent, although Miracle did not pick that up in the last time he played it, I do think VP's lineup is way better right now.
Okay, let me just double check this. You both went for Liquid game 1, right?
Yes. So it's going to game 3.
Listen, we're just setting up the whole 1-1 situation. Game 3, let's go.
I'm totally on board with that. I'm sure everyone here is on board with that, unless they're a Virtus.pro fan, which I know there are a lot of you here for as well. Now, can Virtus.pro make it to the grand final in double quick time, or can Liquid peg them back to 1-1? Let's rejoin our commentary team. One and Purge.
I sit here as a biased commentator, hoping that once again the panel is incorrect. I want a game 3, Kevin. And right now, looking at the draft, it doesn't look that strong to see a game 3. Both the panelists, they went for Virtus.pro, and we're having concerns about the laning phase.
Yeah, I can definitely see where everybody's coming from there. But oftentimes what Liquid does is things that confuse me that ultimately work out really well in the end. Just because the overall synergy between VP's drafts don't necessarily look good. Liquid is always looking for a way to provide a solution against that. And maybe strong lanes is one way. because VP has picked some heroes that are slightly weird in this draft. The Queen of Pain has been occasionally used, but isn't seen as the best core right now. And while Luna's had a lot of success in the last 2 days on stage, she was barely touched in the group stage. So maybe there's some solution against this that that Liquid is looking at. Like, for example, lots of PL illusions is going to eat up things like glaives in team fights. Yeah, VP has a lot of stun and things like that, but maybe if the PL gets to a good position, or maybe if Liquid starts a good fight with IA Ice Blast and Ravage, it'll just be one of those annoying heroes dead anyways, and they can play through it. So yeah, lanes are obviously a huge impact. And in the previous game, Liquid had a tough time in their lanes. Maybe they can turn it around in game 2.
I'm interested to see if they are capable of doing that, because really when you look at these lanings, like, we're not even going to know exactly what the lane's going to be yet. Both teams are 5-man smoked up, and they're putting aggressive vision into the opposition's jungle. So far we haven't seen GH drop his ward just yet. VP only committed a sentry ward onto that bottom lane. Not even certain that actually blocked the camp. It's like right on the edge with the animation.
It'll be in for sure. I mean, they can tell right away. I think it shows a colored animation when you drop it.
It's meant to change red when you do it, and I don't see... We'll see at 1 minute, double check. Yeah.
So with that camp being blocked, it just means really bad levels for Liquid. And that's a pretty bad thing considering that they have an A as well as an Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit, I feel like, has been kind of suffering in terms of level acquisition lately since the boundary rune change, and A definitely wants to get some free levels by pulling. So and at least in the off lane, as far as that's concerned, it should be a nice advantage here for VP's characters. But with mind control going to the bot lane, apparently it's not going to matter because they're going to go for an aggro try.
They're already switching it up. So Ancient the Venomancer and Ancient Apparition, always a fun combination with the Chilling Touch and then the early slow that can come from a Tumba. Difficult to walk away, and this is the downside about Luna, right? Like, her attack range is so poor, and they're already switching the lanes. They're already TPing out. So Solo, yeah, he's in a world of hurt. Rolling boulder forward, his TP, is it going to be in time? The ticks are there, and he's living at the fountain, barely.
What an escape there. I mean, Liquid was basically all set up for that. They weren't expecting to see 3 heroes top, and they saw him coming with the ward. Kuro goes hide, and still instantly Solo knows he's in trouble. The Gale lands, and he starts his TP. Huge TP escape there by him.
Yeah, that really shows weakness in this offlane. The fact that there is no stuns until GH can get a couple more levels. But then Liquid, they move their heroes around once more. So Tanata doesn't want to be on the bottom lane by himself up against the Luna, hence he's so protected in the trees. But Miracle can have a good fun time at mid. He's going to actually level up the Phantom Rush, going in on no one with GH2. Trying to force some kind of reaction, and they get it. Solo moves to mid lane.
That's another really cool thing about them putting the PL mid that they've anticipated. Wow, that was the best doppelganger, dude. 2 wasted spells. As soon as the dagger lands, as soon as Thunderstrike is cast, he can just use doppelganger. It dispels himself, no damage. So not only does PL fit well in the matchups, but in the lanes, it's definitely the right thing to grab. He can still be right-clicked, obviously, but in terms of dispelling spells, he's in a good spot. Unless they cast twice in a row while Dispel's on cooldown.
On bottom lane, Roger's a little bit too deep. He has Ensnare as well as Riptide, but this won't help. Rolling Boulder well off the mark from GH. As Roger ran down south, the only way to escape, but thanks to Chilling Touch slow, Naga still on the run a long way, but they don't actually have the follow-up. Roger's going to south and retreat.
Missed Rolling Bolt costs them to that kill. Maybe if Tided Gush, definitely a kill, but picks up level 2, grabs Anchor Smash, and now he's... And now his second missed kill for Liquid in another 30 seconds until they get Chilling Touch again. So AA is certainly having a bad time. He does the sentry though, so if he places his sentry correctly, he can get a D-Warp, but just past the 2-minute mark, there's very little that Crow is going to be able to accomplish this for 3 minutes.
Yeah, but he'll accept that. He knows the laning phase is still going to be better. Mind Control up against Ramses. We talked about like that range battle for the Luna. It's terrible for her, but it's great for Mind Control, and then Naga couldn't really do much more apart from burn a lot of life, a lot of damage onto herself. And Mitama could just sit up on this top lane. Pasha can just hit invis, most definitely. So we can see that 1k strat come out, but instead he's just holding the point. So he's actually just put the second point after the Burrow strike. So ready to be aggressive if the imp does come for it.
Just what I think my man will be fine here. He picks up 2 points in Poison Instinct. It's very easy for him to have. Ganks can be coming in mid, or at least some pressure on Miracle here.
Are they waiting for it? Miracle's going to doppelganger off at least the Thunderstrike. Won't be able to doppelganger the next part. Roger, here's your glimpse back. Now Riptide as well as Ensnare. Locked out Miracle. All they try to do is bait out that doppelganger. Now Miracle needs full life, but he won't have it. No one spilling first blood. On to Miracle. Support just not fast enough or effective enough from Team Liquid.
kind of a big mistake from Miracle there. As he used Doppelganger, could have been going to try to harass no one at least here.
Yep.
But he needed to either not use Doppelganger so early, or he needed to just walk away as soon as he Doppelganger. But he kind of chased after Solo to go for a right click. And as soon as the dagger landed, he was in a lot of trouble.
Now they look to go to a Solo, but Roger is back once more. The ensnare is on GH. They change the target. The rolling boulder blocked by Roger. Liquid trying to help out their mid lane with PL, but it's just escalating the issue as this has turned into a tri-lane for Virtus.pro in mid lane.
And VP's just executing it perfectly. They know what Liquid is, how they're going to react, and they're just showing up at the perfect times to punish those errors when Miracle does do things like use Doppelganger. Like, VP is just doing this lane harass so well. It's amazing that in games like this, with some of the best, with probably the best players in the world, that they can still play each other.
The sacrifice is still coming on their side lanes. Luna at 11 CS. Paired to the 21-2 of Mind Control. And then up on top, Sand King. He's still getting a decent amount. 15-3 against the 19-5 of Venomancer. But obviously the fearful thing is Matamaman's levels.
Doesn't have to worry about Gale for a bit at least.
Yeah, the Gale is well off target. Rolling ball to bottom. Ramsey, they keep him in position to the cold feet. It should trigger. So Kura gets the kill. Roger and Solo. They have glimpse of Marble, so we'll get revenge. GH just cannot get away from the tower.
Jesus,
yeah,
they got a glimpse.
Yeah, Mind Control knows he has to get aggressive. Yeah, she got the egg smash off Roger. The cold feet tick. Kura gets the double kill.
Oh,
the attack from Solo. No, the south. Kura still doesn't have enough life to survive. Ramsey will rejoin the fight as Mind Control into the trees. Burns off the mango. Looking for a kill onto Solo. Support is there. It's going to be GH. They're both on different targets right now, but that kick from Rams from GH. It goes through Roger as well as Solo. But it wasn't enough of a delay. Kura will pick up Solo on the sides. He's now rotated inside AA. GH needs more space. Rolling Boulder is back off cooldown. And Roger, well, he needs to play the Fog of War, or else Roger's just going to body block it out. Kura trying to keep Ramsey at bay, but now it turns into a fight for Kura. Now, Tidehunter return to the fight. Ramsey's cold feet won't trigger, but Roger's in deep. No more man to work with. So all they got to do is keep the chase up. Chilling... oh, wait, no, Ramsey's? He turned around, one charge, had the mana for the Lucent Beam. Kuro thought he had a fight. He had Chilling Touch as well as the Ice Vortex ready to help out Mind Control.
He just didn't feel super confident about any of those kills. He was scared to commit to it, and VP again just outplaying their opponents here. Getting these little edges, but Liquid is on the board and their net worth is sitting very good. And that's mostly because Matamaman has had a super easy game right-clicking creeps on the top lane. So while the lane rotations from the supports are not going Liquid's way, their gold on paper is good, and that just means their cores will have to transition later into pulling more weight in these fights.
And he finally hit that Gale up on top. That's why the SK TP'd all the way home. 3 points up in Sting, easy harassment. Bottom lane, however, Virtus.pro, we're going to go again. Mind Control still not 6, and VP trying to initiate as much as they can. Rolling ball through GH, looking for the kick to create a little bit more space. Hasn't thrown it out just yet. Now it comes. Both Rams and GH and Roger caught, but Solo has the glimpse available. Mind Control, not enough life to survive as one loose beam will finish the job for Kuro. In through the side, the cold feet will kill off Roger. They turn their attention towards Solo as Rolling Boulder in. The supports from Team Liquid are doing it, and Solo will die inside of his own kinetic field.
Great rotation there, but it all starts off with the Tide anchor smashing as many heroes as possible. It limits VP's damage, and finally they're not able to outplay their opponents with raw damage. So great rotations from the supports on Liquid side, and they're able to catch up, and the game is very equal right now.
Roger's moved off lane. He's headed up towards the top, able to secure the bounty runes if they actually existed. The one isn't one on the Dire side. Luna's also coming top, so it looks like VP do not want to keep that engagement going. Understandable when you got a 13-2 CS boost. He's got 3 kills, but this make it 4. But Matamaman needs some distance. There's one cut. That's to be back up, cooldown, rolling ball to GH. Needs to get the kick a little bit earlier than that. And now he's stranded, instead up right under the attack of Virtus.pro. 2 heroes lost on the top while bottom lane Ravage, but they're trying to kill Solo, Kuro and Mind Control. Combo together to make it so.
Not expensive, but absolutely worth it to kill, because it's so early in the game that by the time the next team fight rotation comes up, Ravage is off cooldown. And twice now I've seen Ramses barely get kills on heroes right before the drop comes up. Liquid, just little fractions of seconds where they don't get the raindrop damage block and they end up going down. So still very close moments here whether they get the kills or not.
I think on bottom lane, yeah, they're waiting for that fire strike. There's no sandstorm available for Pasha, so Ice Vortex into the cold feet. Pasha will have this click on him, and all Mind Control he's doing is just hit him once, but no, the one keep him alive with a Sonic Wave! No one! DP's in and cleans up the Liquid.
A solid rotation there. Ran out of damage, and it looked like a great kill opportunity, but Sand King ends up staying alive with the wand. One, like the hero of this game so far, I'm pretty sure.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They're trying to down Ramsey's a little bit on top, but this would be a little bit easier, Roger. I mean, you can Riptide all you want. They're still rolling Boulder. They're still keeping Valble. And with the Poison Sting damage, Roger can't walk away from this fight. It's just too difficult. Down to 12 HP, and the Sting will finish the tournament. Claiming that one.
The Bounty Rune Thief, at least, very nice. Luna's just dying to Poison Sting right now. Must have been a ward or something.
This is what Matumba's been doing. We were kind of gossiping about this at the very beginning of the draft. It's like Venomancer, he can go anywhere. Matumba gets 4 points and Sting and wins the lane. The Plague Ward levels come back later, but it's just this pure lane harassment.
And even to kill him, it's so dangerous because you're going to be slowed for a long time as you retreat. But this is one way to do it.
Yeah.
Big committal with the smoke from the tri-lane.
He just put a second point up into Plague. So no Nova to give a large amount of damage back. He can Gale, he can Sting a little bit. And with the Plague Wards down, we'll still actually have a decent amount of tick and kick. Oh, actually, look up at the glimpse. There's always that plan B, but the silence top instead is crowned a little bit longer. Roger has Bayard and Sting on top of him. He's dying. I think he wants to be denied. Where is this? Like, is GH going to have a crack rolling? Roger, he's Miriam trying to dodge the damage ramp. He's lucky. Team Liquid, both of them on top. A big streak to end as well. 5 times.
The same thing was the last time a man played Venomancer. He gets killed in some of these ganks, but even while his ultimate, he just does so much damage.
Forest Strike into Epicenter Mind Control. He gets the anchor smashed off 2 seconds before Ravage comes back off cooldown. It wouldn't have helped him anyway.
But now words across the board, still looking very even. The cores on VP are stronger, but their supports are bottom, all the way at the very bottom.
It's a double smoke gang from both VP and Liquid, and both the smokes are into each other. GH seeing Solo and Roger, taking half a second to react, but gets the kick and the cold feet. They're hoping to pick Solo, as he's the man that's going to glimpse him back into the fight. No one traffic, so the tool back in, and that timing.
Oh, just so perfectly executed. And instantly they smoke. I think that was even in vision here. In his room is bottled. And they'll shift over. We'll see if Man will back up in time. But he's got a Hood of Defiance now, so it's even harder for him to get killed here. And there's a lot of magic damage coming from VP's side. If they don't overkill him with something like Eclipse, I just don't see Venom dying in this little 2 or 3 minute skirmishes.
Mind control.
Back up.
Up around, Ramsey as well as Pasha. Came in through the Radiant Jungle. Mind control. Oh, if he just burns his ultimate, it's going to help him. Well, not all, because no one's coming to help him. They just Eclipse is burned.
Mind control does this a lot. Just goes to his team, pushes it out, forces these rotations. It does give his team some time. And normally it's okay in that moment where they also reacted to the other potential rotation. I think this was a rare time where we needed mind control to sit back and just play defensive to maximize what Liquid is trying to get.
But now, it's the top tier 1 tower. That's the objective of Team Liquid. Everyone's just been having such a great game. He's 2 levels in front of Miracle at the moment. Number 1 on the net worth.
He's got 5 kills at 11 minutes. It's incredible. He's been a part of 7 kills. Just having a real game here. If he can transition this well and work it, is the PL. If he can finding PL early. Because it's a long time until he finishes some item that's going to keep him alive, such as Mantis Style. So the faster the Orchid that you get, this is really dangerous for Liquid.
He's going for the defensive Yules to begin with. Sensible with so much silence and dot, but Pasha, Fire Strike comes in, not kick, but the Storm as well as Storm from Solo that gets caught, sent in ground, Miracle copying a lot more damage, hangers away. There's moment right in the thick of it. The song of the siren, a reset from Roger, but Solo is currently ticking out. He needs to deny both Pasha and Solo. They're both licking their wounds as they move back behind the tower. Roger cannot escape. He'll try and bail out, won't happen. But Solo ticked out underneath the tier 2 tower. Pasha was able to survive. You really feel that damage output from the Venomancer, and it's going to get well when the Veil of Discord is completed.
It's just working so well. Ice Blast almost catches Pasha here as Kuro's looking for that snag. He also misses no one. That would have been an amazing full kill. But either way, it's just so straightforward. Liquid takes fights. Drop the ult, attack each person once. The platforms are nice, but they're more of a way to deliver the Poison Sting, and he just collects items. And he gets decent early game. It's very reminiscent of the previous match he played. He got pressured more that game, but he still does so much with the levels.
Ninja TP coming in from SK. All right, Blink Dagger available. Yes, Pasha wants to defend. There are a lot of friends around here. Observer Ward gives perfect vision for Team Liquid. The Rock
when they see
prepared. Yeah, they pinged it.
This is one thing that you can sometimes see in darkness without having vision.
Is the Rock?
I think so, because I don't believe they should have had vision.
By the Gale, people need that silence out. No one, Ravage combining, collects the back line, which was slow. Pasha, they know he's in the trees. Burrow strikes up the helmet on him. Quick play, what will give him the vision. The death of the Queen paintings, the Virtus.pro really don't have time.
Why for the best trick to catch? 5 kills. Killing spree goes over to mind control, and now he's just super caught up. Approaching the core level on the enemy hero, and as they get more and more hoods, it's even harder for you to get these kills. They had good rotations in the early game, and a blink is going to make a big difference for Papa, but they don't have the EE kill follow-up that you normally see out of a hero level version. So it's going to require things like Queen of Pain ulti, like Luna ulti, to actually secure some of these rotations in the mid-game, and it might give EP a hard time.
Wondering if Luna's actually going to be able to fight. She's going to get burnt out pretty quickly once the diffuser play is completed on Miracle, and coming a lot faster just because of the space he had on top while Liquid were fighting in the mid lane.
He's still got a ways to go, though. He just started it, essentially. Still needs another 2k gold or so. But I think the hero of the game so far has definitely been GH. He's landing huge silences on the whole fight. I mean, it's forcing the Queen of Pain down this duel's path, so she does feel like she can contribute and stay alive. And landing his disables and team levels has been giant. He's 1-5 and 9. Best, but
going up to Batalman, he didn't actually get that hook defiance off with, but then they put him inside the wall. Well, Team 1 meant to can survive through this and potentially even over the rest of Liquid and have time to find what's called ends. Eclipse reveals the dead Venomancer.
But that's 3 big ultimates. Just secure the kill.
Trouble. Kuro knew where he'd be, down to the shrine to heal. And efficiency comes to hurt Roger in that moment. But it took so many resources just to kill Venomancer there. It's a big kill, but if it takes 3 ultimates and they all have long cooldowns, how can you transition this?
Bottom lane, going to go after mind control to finish his own defiance. No one is on the solo. They can glimpse him back. Support's coming in the form of Miracle, so mind control will sit in the tree line. He doesn't have Ravage available, but here comes GH2, VP. This took too long. They managed to get to the bottom lane. Ramsey wants to help out, but they can't do so when they're blocked. No one to blink. It's on the cards to get back to the tier 2 tower, but with this kill, maybe now they have confidence to push forward. They have a full pipe on the Tidehunter. Ravage off cool in 5 seconds time. The team fight most definitely there. They take it.
He's got a clarity as well to buff up the mana he needs. They're able to push, and it's so hard to take these fights because there's just plague wards completely blanketing the whole area nearby. So even approaching angles is so dangerous. Like outside of Naga's ulti into ultimate, it's very difficult for BP to win these team fights when you have to deal with Tidehunter Ravage, Venom stuff, and even like Spirit reacting with AoE soundbombs.
Is that about the SK too? Like, hey, I wanted to blink dagger, but it's just not possible. So yeah, you need those big ultimates to work. Middle lane Ice Blast is on the way. It's just trying to ensure they can get momentum swinging back the opposite direction as they do take the tier 2 tower on bottom.
It just really discounts how good Sang is going to be. Well, when you have to do the hood, it looks like that hero.
He just came out to go on a warning mission. Observer and Sentry was in his hands. But he had no idea that Liquid was there. Pasha, he just walked straight past mind control to Burrow strike. Yeah.
He knows where they are. He knows they're going to go next, and his closest hero was him. Time to leave and go top. So.
Just also looking at creep skip. Like, sitting between the towers, they're really trying to create some space for Ramses to come on. You know, but the first time, Luna behind and then just come back. We had it in the previous series.
I think there's some potential of that, but it's so hard against this magic resistance because that is one way to just kind of blow up more heroes than you probably should. A right-clicking is strong, but Eclipse is usually a big damage dealer, and with a hood and a hood already finished, it's going to be hard.
There's so many coming into the cover of smoke.
They might
yeah, Ramsey's already starting his TP. Pasha, blue, yup, Rag, Bark Strike, the hell, the silence was nice from GH, and the kick! The Ronaldo of Team Liquid. And they will look to take that tier 2 tower, no SK. And no 5 of creep skip the mid.
The best they can do right now. They can't even clear the viewpoints very easily with these. The Liquid just keeps continuing to group up as 5 and push down towers. And BP is, they can look at this, but they can't really take the fight. Split pushing is the best they can do, but there's a world right now. So if they do get caught, no one can split push because he can Eul's himself and then blink out. But a lot of the other heroes on his team are vulnerable to these kinds of counter ganks. So Liquid just gets to do what they want, just accelerating into items that are going to make it different.
Yeah, they'll have Greaves as well as Pipe.
They got two pipes, actually.
They're just going to, like, just stack them.
Yeah. The active...
Stack them, just chain them.
The aura, I believe, does not stack, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, you can recast the barrier as long as the first one is gone. So now it's just going to go for mech and pipe. I think this is a great idea, and Greaves. Great idea, just because they're already difficult to kill with the overwhelming match from VP's side. They can just build it, and if they can just keep them alive, they should be able to easily overwhelm them and show. But the only hero that's really kind of squishy is maybe AA, but he's queuing for Glimmer Cape now. So as long as his positioning is good, it's going to be really hard for people to get these hero pick off, which is basically what it's like. That's their strength. So terrible position for VP at the moment.
Yeah, I'm wondering if no one has to change his item. Is still looking to pick up that Orchid, but it's going to be too effective. Do you just get Academics? Have to try and slow down the push? Do you look something else?
It's kind of hard to say, I guess. Orchid wouldn't get solo buffs, but Liquid not moving solo in many stages of the game, and Orchid is also magic damage block, so GH doesn't find him, but
he had to find him.
I mean, he's almost got his link here. He'll be able to kill him next time.
Tumblr is farming an ancient stack of the Dire underneath the Dire board. He should still probably feel pretty safe. Unlike the Naga Siren, Roger has really been pushing the issue a little bit too much in mid, so trying to get out of this, but it won't happen. My Control gets the pick up. No one can jump onto him. It's case coming over too. They need that blink into Burrow Strike. Hold it there. Sonic Wave can middle. But both 5 and 1 charges. The Ice Blast will connect on the pass. Third one, he's chilled. So and actually, with the Sting, he's got Poison Nova and Poison Sting. All it wants to deny him. He's looking for the right timing, but it's so difficult with the Ice Blast on him. GH, he'll get the kick, but get glimpsed away. Spying for Kuro to move up with Mind Control. Solo, start his TP. You're not burning grabbing. Let the kill go.
Hero Scepter looks so, but the Shatter debuff still gets placed on him while he's in the air. And with the poison damage follow-up, there was no opportunity or solution there.
The ping coming out for Roshan.
I mean, it's that control period. We're basically seeing a flip version of the game last game. I mean, VP's surprisingly got a lot of kills here, but does not feel like the game is within their control. But finally finding Veno when he was solo, that's a great grab. It does give VP some gold back in their advantage, and the Orchid purchase continues for Queen of Pain, so it'll just be a little easier next time.
Yeah, I'm not certain they're going to be too happy. All the money went into the Sand King. It's going to give him a 4-star, but I would have really loved the Luna to have that BKB. He's getting closer, and then Ramses becomes a little bit more of a stable element in the fight.
Yeah, you can actually jump in. I mean, if he doesn't have BKB, he's just going to get ravaged into killed.
Roger, Song of the Siren, trying to stop the fun. He just walks up the river. GH is staying with him with the blink forward, rolling boulder. Roger can't get the ensnare off. There's a quick glimpse from Solo, but it will not create enough space. At least not around Roshan. Is buying space for Pasha to pressure the top tower. Ramses, get the hell out of there. You're underneath Radiant Vision.
Yeah, we'll go back into base at least, but very easy to kill Nagato without his TP up or Blink Dagger. The top tower is very easily pressured here, but Pasha is still scared to commit, and it's not worth his time anyway, so it's time to get back and defend, but there's no Song of the Siren. There's no Epicenter for 10, there's no Scream of Sonic Wave for 25 either, so.
Yep. So all they can do is just push the side lanes, but they know they can fight this one because you've got the mech coming in for Mind Control. So Solo is just getting ripped apart by the illusions of Team Liquid, and they know they can take more. They count on the bottom lane. Ramses forced into a 10-second defensive BKB. He wants to fight, but it's so damn hard. He's popped the Mask of Madness. Cannot eclipse, and Liquid are already disengaging back to the tier 3 tower. I say back to the tier 3 tower, it's still their front line. Pasha scattered the Observer Ward, saw him in the back line. It's a quick blink away. He'll dodge the kick of GH.
They are unkillable right now. That Static Storm did 0 damage. There's 2 pipes and now a hood on the Phantom Lancer. They know that all of the damage is magic. That's the only way that VP gets back in the game right now. So if they just all tank up, they're just going to overwhelm their opponents, walk them down slowly.
You're almost going to catch them when the pipes are down. You've got 28 seconds before... Actually, no, Veno's still got his. Veno's still got his up and running. But you can ensnare all you want. Wait for the epicenter. Pasha's in a really good position. The back line, Sonic Wave goes to work. Here comes Pasha with a Burrow Strike forward. But all the damage is instantly repaired. Pasha can't do anything. They've lost no 1-2. There's just nothing in the tank for Virtus.pro. That's Miracle. Manages to mow down Roger. Run back to Fountain. It is the only safe to Virtus.pro right now. They will lose 2 lanes of racks here at least. The pipe's already back off cooldown for Mind Control.
I mean, they got like 2 of them right there. They'll be back at some point. And the bot Rax is being pressured. It's very likely to fall. Pasha does not have his ultimate here. Sitting on the sideline, maybe looking to do some kind of a combo, but they don't have Eclipse.
Yeah, with what?
They've got Static Storm.
Ramses is even leaving. He's leaving the base down through the mid lane to try and push it back out. I think they just accept the fact this bottom lane of Rax is gone. Solo can glimpse and potentially get some kind of like exit kill on Team Liquid, but this is assuming that Team Liquid even want to leave. I mean, they're very comfortable where they are.
What Liquid realized this game is that the damage output of VP was very clearly magic damage, and they're also pretty flower line, and there's physical on Luna, but it takes like 2 or 3 items for her to reach anything resembling a Terrorblade's level of damage, so they kind of got hard committed here to this magic damage, and then Liquid's just overwhelming them with farm and the right items.
Roger, look for the song combination with Solo, and now they could potentially catch out 3, but no, Mind Control is just walking out of range of it. The kick stopping Roger, and finally the Song of the Siren will turn off. It's the best combination, but it's Greed. It's all the life. Roger can't do anything. GH actually survived the attack. No one can even get the kill. They cannot take the game. VP realized this and called the good game. We will be having a third matchup between Liquid and VP. After Liquid just understood the lineup of Virtus.pro perfectly, itemized to counter it, and take what looks to be almost an easy victory in game 2.
Yeah, the amount of kills they had compared to how difficult that felt for VP, it just looked completely unmatched if you don't watch the game. And the itemization, the heroes, it looked pretty bad on paper, like they'd be vulnerable and gankable, and VP has all these stuns and things, but their damage output and their ability to burst heroes was so ulti reliant, it wasn't easy to do. And Liquid just, they all benefited each other's heroes. They had exactly what they needed. The roaming went a little bit rough and VP outplayed them there, but once I got to mid game, game was over.
Felt like the lane switching too, like it just seemed to work so well once you have like how many times during this competition have we just seen that off lane of Radiance like just so much better? It can be the Omni combination that I think Newbie was the one that was running that one. Then you have Matamaman saying, you know what, I can make Venomancer work in any lane. Just give it to me in the off. I get my max poison sting. Eventually someone's going to rotate off the lane and it's just going to work.
And I think that's why they had Kuro as well as GH start there, in addition to it being a little bit of a surprise. But Veno at level 1 is not Veno at level 3, 5, 7. Once he gets to level 5, level 7, he has tons of damage output. But before that, he's vulnerable. So maybe if they can shut him down when he's level 1, that's how they beat the Veno. But once some levels, he's pretty unstoppable.
I have a way to beat the Veno. It's called ban it. But of course, that's a very complicated thing to do. What do you take?
repositioning here on the VP side. They're looking to dive on Benno again. No boots for him, so if they do catch him, he could be out of trouble, or in a lot of trouble, that is.
It's when Matumba's really wanting that level 6. Just having that 1 point up in Plague Ward. He doesn't need to have the Nova. Not as required for him, but he's got GH to help him out. So gank all you want, Roger. During nighttime, cannot see the ES. Seeing behind the tower.
He does grab the Nova. Just wants as much damage as he can get right now. That's a good way to do it. Trying to pressure the VP safe lane though. Mind Control can kind of do whatever he wants with the backup power of Shadow Word, but for himself takes the damage, he hurts a lot more. Miracle kind of playing this ready to dive Huskar right now. He's got 4 points in Burning Spears. He's got Armlet ready as well. So if he can get on top of Pasha, it's a decent chance of getting the kill, but we'll just see a TP most likely.
I love the no boots.
Yeah.
Like I have life break to give distance, right?
That's true. Mini Blink Dagger, right?
And there's still 3-4 of movement speed. This is the 295, and he may want it. And he has to outrun Roger. TP support is coming in right now. It's Kuro. Miracle will need to put that Shadow Word on top of him, and the Fatal Bonds. Potential turn to fight. Huskar, caught inside the pit. How much can you toggle? Not enough through this. Not when no one brings in such huge physical damage. But a Gale and Nova, VP, they get coded. But really, they're still surviving. The Fatal Bonds is making this very difficult to live. There's all 3 of them. Pasha, Roger, and no one having their fates connected. It'll wear off now, so they're going to survive. But if that Huskar was a little bit stronger.
Man, Fatal Bonds and Benno. That's pretty terrifying in the mid game. Kuro was holding his skill points, but that was the right time to pick that up. Doesn't get any kills, but it kind of just shows the story of what's to come in these next couple fights.
Yep.
They land big Benno ultis, Gales, and right clicks, and they Fatal Bonds them all together. Everyone's dying on VP side. But Oracle can save one. Who will he choose?
More than likely Ramses, unless Ramses can save himself. But no one brings that huge physical damage, and this is when the Huskar pickup doesn't look as great. Laning phase, sure, but that physical DPS of Virtus.pro is still very, very strong. Like, how much are you willing to sacrifice in order to get a great team fight off? Kuro needs his level 6 to get that to happen. You talked about Oracle being a full level now in front of him. The Warlock Rock and the Tidehunter Ravage is normally the biggest deterrent to stop Virtus.pro from fighting.
I think it'll be okay even if Warlock is delayed on 6, but VP's rotations here are set up to beat Mind Control. They got to save the stun though, or he can TP.
Is this the same thing again? Like Mind Control into the trees?
This one's going to be harder. If he can juke and TP.
Kraken Shell, sure. You just break free of everything you want to. There's so many heroes, like there's 3 heroes chasing him into the tree lines. Roger does use the Burrow Strike, gets the kill.
Really wise play there, perfect. They stun too early, he gets out. No way for them to stop him. I mean, that's their only stun. I think it's just Sand King. Except for the potential Yules, no one dodges a Gale in the mid lane here. Making Matumba Man look stupid.
Miracle's forcing out the bottom tower. DP support's coming in the form of the Oracle. Shadow Word's on Miracle, so he's getting a little bit more life. The Firestorm actually burning a lot, even though he's only got 2 points up in the Berserker's Blood.
Is actually huge this game. He just dispelled the Shadow Word from Warlock, and it's also going to work against the later Inner Vitality that Huskar is going to want to rely on, so could see some big impact from Warlock here.
GH, not only does he steal the bounty room from Pasha, he steals the Arcane from No One. No One looking to do something about it, but GH once again TP's out and goes to the top lane.
Trying after Mind Control finishes his wave, and then everything's fine anyways.
Yeah, but his movement does get scattered out. So Virtus.pro, they were dewatered before in the top lane. Yeah, solo. Well, he could actually heal himself up and survive. Miracle has to toggle from the tower.
Gonna be just fine with these 2 heals.
Fine. Relax, everybody.
Definitely hard to kill Oracle, but burning his ultimate at this stage is really beneficial. Not that VP necessarily has somebody they want to put it on. Obviously, it's wonderful with Death Prophet as a combo, but Miracle definitely wants to kill the tower, but not enough physical damage for now. A little hard for him to force these tower pushes, and as long as VP keeps defending them by killing the creep wave, then a delayed tower will be more time that Terrorblade can get online and finally become competitive with a Huskar.
Drums just arrived on Ramses. He'll need an extra helping hand if he wants to do something about Mind Control. Without Metamorphosis going into Anchor Smash, probably not the greatest thing either. Roger, don't get your courier killed. Actually took damage because the creeps were aggroed.
They were angry, but they didn't know what to attack. Roger was hiding. Scan goes down by the dire side. They're spotting Miracle trying to wrap around. That was kind of how VP lost a lot of tempo last game when Liquid ended up rotating and diving under the tier 1. So
yeah, what they don't know about it is GH, however. The Gale's going to connect. No one wants to try and fight this one with the Spirit Cypher. He's got a lot of sustain. GH has to rolling boulder away. Exorcism burned by no one. And they will not be able to force down the tower at all.
It looked like a potential kill, but as soon as he pops ulti, Liquid knows to escape. They didn't overburn anything skill-wise, and they get a big advantage from this. That was huge plays, actually, from Liquid to disengage there. I wonder how much they make these plays off of previous game performances.
Mind Control's in trouble. He doesn't have a lot of mana to work with. 11-1 charge can give him some life in that mana, but he'll need more support. Kuro is here. It goes your Ravage, rolling ball, Beta Bones together with the rock. The damage is going to be huge. Ramsey switches a lot of it out as he sunders GH, allowing him to have enough damage to kill off Mind Control. They're still connected, remember, into the troops. Roger, hitting Viz, and actually with the Sandstorm, they already found the kill over on GH. Roger will burn. Solo's not in a healthy position either. That Golem moving underneath the tower allows him to continue to fight. Ramses knows he has to keep retreating.
Miracle wants to keep fighting, but they'll hit the tower at least. I mean, Golem gives them a little bit of overwhelming power here.
Is he going to life break Ramses? He's got the jump. He knows Ramses no longer has Sunder, so you already start to stack up the burning spears. Jumping him further forward. Miracle. Oh, there's your reflection. There's a little bit of extra help. Miracle can toggle as well as have the one charges. Turns over towards Solo. Curry's in the neighborhood as well, but it will back off, realizing that they're all dead on top lane.
He played that so well. Getting a bunch of attacks, and at last moment drops the life break to close the gap distance here. But Roger will be able to do the old Sandstorm and stand, but the tower's dying pretty fast.
Yep, no way to really stop it. Miracle could just tank through it all, and Roger's 1K strat won't work. Miracle's getting a lot stronger, moving into a Heaven's Halberd. You want to talk about a way to stop that physical damage to the Terrorblade, find the real one and disarm.
He's going a slightly different Huskar build. Playing treads first is kind of interesting, but overall attack speed and meaning more spears against your opponent is really what the goal is here. The more spears he drops on the Terrorblade, the better chance he can actually kill him in these clutch fights.
Well, someone's got to bring some dust into this fight.
He's going to steal all of his last hits and now walk away. Kind of an interesting game.
The Dobermans kept the pressure up on mid lane while all this has been going on. Really just focusing on finishing up that Veil of Discord, amplifying all this damage, which they want to start stacking up. Back this up once you have Rock down, once you have Fatal Bonds available, Rolling Boulder, GH. Oh, he'll complete the TP. Then you can turn your attention towards middle lane. Miracle is ready to come from behind.
Not really the hero they wanted to kill, so they don't commit anything to it just yet. And the creep wave is killed, though. So now it's going to be up to VP to try to slow down the push.
They had no Ravage, but they saw Pasha. That Plague Ward just able to connect onto him and Pasha.
God.
It was about to put the pit down, but...
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
It's just so much damage right here. This is Huskar's prime territory. As long as he's backed up by his allies, as long as he doesn't get killed solo, Miracle's going to snowball this into a huge advantage.
With Armlet on, he has 2.2k. Like
pretty good.
That's so much to get through.
He hits really hard, attacks fast. Evasion's coming up in one last hit, and there he's got it.
And they're moving into Roshan. This is something which Team Liquid must have. This is the enabler for the Huskar.
Another thing that's very simple for him to kill, Medallion as well, and that's going to be a pretty quick dead Roche. And with the Halberd finished, another solution against Terrorblade. It's going to be a long time till he gets magic immunity.
Yep. Virtus.pro smoked up. They won't be able to do anything really about this. They are way too to join the fight. So Huskar just TPs down a bottom lane. No one reveals himself for a moment. Huskar actually moving up inside the Fog of War. No one is not aware that Miracle is there, but has the movement speed with phase boots and easily outrun that Huskar.
There's no threat either way. Even if it gets a life break off, Yule's the Huskar, start a TP and you get out.
Yep. Would have required Kuro to drop the ultimate to stop him. But he was taking time to get there too.
He might be able to even Yule's before he connects with the life break and then get out of there. But GH is constantly going to the off lanes, trying to slow down these pushes. Definitely safer for him than any of their cores. Less value lost if he dies, so they're going to slow this down a little bit.
Roger finding that perfect time to reveal it. The kick is good from GH. No! Rolling Boulder, TP out the star! The damage, purifying flames from Solar. Stops a beautiful play, but still it's Virtus.pro. A tier 1 for tier 1 tower trade-off will now happen.
And he's already alive again. It doesn't have a TP though, but Liquid does get the tier 1, now pressuring tier 2. And this is very reminiscent of the previous game. Can VP catch up? Or Terrorblades have got a great KDA, 3-1 and 12. His net worth is solid, but it's not over here the Huskar.
Do they just go up? Like, you're 16 minutes in, you have Ravage, you have Rock, you have Nova, you have kind of everything you want, even a double damage on Matumba. Yeah, they're going in. Look at Miracle. He wants a kill. He walks past the tower, body blocking out Virtus.pro.
He doesn't even want them close to him.
No.
The fast solar crest on Tidehunter as well.
He just They're going to pin him up. Have they got the extra help? Roger Burris strikes forward. The stun won't connect. The Rock as well as Fatal Bonds. VP, they're connected once more. The Agassi model has done its work. Miracle back to the world of the living. Looking for a good target, but they don't really have one. They want more distance. Miracle rooted up, forced in. He goes after Ramsey, dropping him down low. Finally from Mind Control comes out. Same with the Nova. All of VP are coded up, but no one from Liquid is really left alive to do anything about it. No one will have a double kill. Matumba, he just needs to get out of this one. Roger's so low, he should actually die. No, he won't. It's Poison Nova and Poison Sting. He's going to tick right now, 7 HP, and he survives through it. Virtus.pro lose nobody.
Amazing defense from them. I mean, it looked so good for Liquid going high ground there with the evasion, but they lowered Miracle's HP. He was maybe a bit too deep with his diving. And I think the crucial play was the silence from no one to delay the Ravage. Ravage fell late, and it was, but it was all about delaying Mind Control's ability to save the Huskar. And by delaying that, it allowed them to win the fight.
Yeah, they really needed that sooner. Needed that Blink Dagger to really be on the Tidehunter. He went for a full Solar Crest before getting the Blink.
And it's a cool, really cool build if that push works out. And it was very close to working out. Once that tower falls, maybe they can get a solo kill somewhere. They knew Exorcism was on cooldown for a bit because previously no one had used it on the bot lane. So that was a great timing for Liquid to try to hit. But now they're going to have to pay the sins of buying these early pushing items with the Solar Crest on Tide.
No one's sitting here in the mid lane. GH has an Invis rune. They should know that no one is basically by himself until he walks underneath the one sentry ward that just timed out. And it had only 2 seconds left on it, and GH walked over the top of it in the last 2 seconds. But they're coming again. That bottom tier 3 tower is so low. You don't have the Agassi model this time around.
Very wisely, Roger again setting himself into position to cut the creep wave. They just want to delay this as long as possible, or at the least, if it goes slow, it's going to allow VP the ability to take the enemy tier 1 if this gets delayed. And right now there's only 4 heroes. Veno wants to shift over, he drops some warps, they're level 3, so they should be able to deal with some of the creep wave. And they're going for the high ground again.
Yeah, they're doing this jump, no Ravage available, the root is on the Huskar, trying to break him free. Again, this Fortune's End.
So good this game.
It keeps turning off the Shadow Word, it keeps turning off even like that's why they're not trying to stack it anymore on Miracle with the Inner Vitality and Shadow Word.
And the Solar Crest. The Solar Crest active, all of these little buffs that are going on in Huskar, it's actually making his life really hard. I'm sure it's one of the reasons he's died so fast in the last couple engagements. You remove that heal, he's just a hero with an armlet. That's a regular hero. He doesn't have lifesteal, so he's kind of all in on those regen things. And Liquid's going to be forced to play a slower game as a result of solo playing like this.
VP just came out to D-Ward.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The Liquid know where the vision advantage is. And rotate to mid. Take out the tier 2 towers. That's what you normally do with the first Aegis of the Immortal, even though it is gone. They're restricting VP into their base. That's all they can do for now. Ramses continues to get big as well. Looking to get into the BKBs till he's ready to fight. In fact, now he has that exactly. And Huskar's a little bit off his. He'll get the farm off the top lane. So BKB for Miracle next engagement. Number 1 net worth are on the field. So got a great combination out from Liquid, but that high ground defense from VP looks so stable. Now their core can stand under the cover of a Magic Immune.
Yeah, and once both of them are at that position, Death Prophet now turns from somebody that's a vulnerability, somebody that can be absolutely a big damage dealer. She goes for Max Health Spirit Siphon, very good against Huskar, very good against Tidehunter. Until it gets dispelled at least, and she can just pop BKB and run in there and deal damage. There is still a decent amount of physical damage coming out of Liquid, especially from the Huskar, and once he finishes AC, it's even more so, but I think he'll be able to jump into this team fight and get a lot more done. I mean, maybe another big worry is still going to be Fatal Bonds, but BKBs are going to stop the magic damage dealt to at least 2 of their cores, which means that once it actually trickles over, it won't spread quite as heavily.
Yep.
So this is a good place for VP to be. They've got a gold advantage.
Oh, there's your root already on the Miracle. Fire Strike as well. He can't actually toggle out of this. GH has a rolling boulder himself away. Fortune's End will connect. that the rest of Liquid want out. Warlock won't be so lucky. The TP cancelled on Kuro. Accepts his fate, and 2 heroes from Liquid without buyback. All they try to do, take that tier 2 tower on top, and again, they end up losing.
It's just a little overconfidence from Liquid, feeling like they're riding the Huskar train, and they are, but this is like a typical KDA for a Huskar that's on the way to losing. 4-3-0. He's gotten some kills, but in these crucial moments where the team needs to group around him and do these pushes, they were a little outmaneuvered, and they didn't anticipate him dying so fast.
Just that vision advantage needs to be taken away from Liquid every time too. Like the 2 observers they planted on bottom, they got taken out by Virtus.pro in the same position as well. But how does Liquid continue to set up for these fights? You push the tier 2 tower, but the aggressive warding, you never got down. That's what's on Kuro. He's got 2 obs and 2 sentries currently in the inventory, but he has nowhere to plan it.
That's part of the hard part, is that he has to sit behind Huskar to help make sure that he doesn't go down. But they can't necessarily just be confident around the heals and the inner vitality. Like, all it took was 1 stun there. Miracle's HP was very low, so maybe stay above 40% HP or whatever it was. But it's a tough position to be in. And to try to prevent VP from being able to walk around and de-ward and gank all they want, it would require Liquid on the other side of the map to actually make those kills themselves. But they don't really have the best heroes for it. It's basically Earth Spirit, or they'd have to commit Tidehunter to a Ravage, or Venomancer would have to chain burst, and that's not really how their team fights together. That's not really how their lineup works. So it's kind of a bit of a back foot position here, because Liquid did lose that high ground push.
Yep. We'll have to find a way around it. This will probably be a pretty damn good way. They got a Blink Dagger on GH, a Blink Dagger on Mind Control, and Kuro currently holding the smoke ready for a fight, but they don't want to have a big one just yet. Roshan may respawn in 1 second time, so we'll see just how quick it is. The Plague Ward will be in there for another 30 seconds, and Roshan will respawn in 2 minutes. So Liquid will have to wait to get the big man to have that Aegis and Cheese available for the next fights. But that's because if they can take it, VP are most definitely a formidable force, and they can contest it quite strongly.
So they're finally grouping up themselves. Creep waves are in perfect positions. They've been pushing out bot lane with Terrorblade illusions, and it's finally their turn, other than the whole defending and taking the tier 2 top, to finally push and take a 5v5 against Liquid. And this is maybe another place where they could have a lot of benefit. If Miracle shows up when this fight's about to start, has a good initiation, this could be decent for Liquid, since they want a 5v5 as well. But I think VP's confident with these BKBs. They've got a Halberd on Underlord as well.
And they got the Blink Burrow Strike initiation out. It went on the Venomancer, silenced up pretty quickly. But and that Tide Ravage, 3 heroes caught. They're going on to no one. It's BKB. Yours has to protect him for the moment. Nova comes out, but so does the Rock. Space is created as Liquid. And underneath their own tower, and Virtus.pro Ramsey just man-mows it up. Miracle is surviving through all of this. Where is the damage? Miracle, he takes 1. He's going after Pasha. He's looking for a 3rd. No one's the big one. GH holding him in position with the rock kick as the toggle begins for Miracle. Even a double damage rune spawning in the top river. VP make a right choice to get the hell out of there. However, Roger left behind as a rolling boulder. Okay, it won't even reach him to connect. The Urn Charge is ticking him down. Roger starts the TP. Base damage. It's there from the Golem. Kuro will find the kill. Venomancer was the sacrifice. And Team Liquid, Roshan is up in 27 seconds, but they're going down mid. No exorcism will be available for no one.
It was such a good initiation by VP, and they got the Veno kill, but the follow-up was that the BKBs were used, and they got Miracle kind of low. Oh, not good
Solo, out too far. The kick will connect. He needs a little bit more regeneration. The silencer set, rolling boulder forward. GH pulling himself back. As Miracle, not really that low on life right now. He needs him to drop a little bit lower. But attack faster. That bottom tier 3 tower is still licking its wounds, but they're sticking with the creep wave. They don't want to bounce out. Ramsey looks for the fight. Already turns on the reflection. Miracle hitting himself pretty hard. Has the BKB available. Pushed away. GH trying to help him out with that kick. Miracle now BKB turns around, goes up to Solo. He will stand his ground, but damage into Ramsey. Miracle. He sunk his own mind control. Gets him back to life. Pasha wants to end this, and he'll do so. Everybody home. They got the kill they want. They ended Miracle. That's Sunder onto mind control. He offered himself to keep Ramses in the fight.
Man, it is so fun to watch 2 heroes like Terrorblade essentially fight each other to the death. So tense. They both practically have I can't die abilities, and ultimately they finally kill the Huskar. It took a lot of right clicks, and the big problem for Ramses right now is he's just missing all the time. He does not have MKB. He cannot buy MKB right now. He's got Manta finally, so he can remove things like some of the mischance or disables or slows, but it's he just can't hit the Huskar right now, especially when BKB's used.
Roshan is alive. This will be a pivot point for the map for a while, as there's no way Virtus.pro want to give a second life to that Huskar, considering how many issues they're having to just bring him down at the moment. Small event, and just the BKB charges are wearing out quickly.
No kidding. It's going to be a little harder for Huskar as the game goes on, but he's picked up his Hyperstone now. The light shield perk at 15 doing a lot of work for him.
The observed watch from VP watches this happen very, very openly. Kuro has Rock coming back off cooldown as Roger at center. His timing could be better right now. Epicenter looking to jump in. The Burrow strike. No, he didn't get inside the pit. He was on the edge of the wall. No one will enter in. Miracle at the agency portal. The Rock is huge. The Ravage is better. But the BKB protect Virtus.pro. They stand their ground and fight. He'll give his life for this one, but Rams to no one. They are just way too big. The Viper coming in from GH. Kuro is on the run. Where is your big man? Huskar back to the world of the living now. The agency mortal is popped. But how much fire's he got left in him? Solo protecting himself. He can't find the damage until Miracle jumps over. They almost kill off Ramses. They do kill off Ramses. The burning spears do the work, but no one. He stands through the entire thing. The immortal hero for Virtus.pro. Thanks to the help of the Oracle, Team Liquid are wiped.
Not a good position for Liquid considering how close that fight was. They burned Aegis. I believe they burned Cheese as well, and they still couldn't outfight VP. Here's the replay.
So Roger, with this Burrow strike, he just comes up a little bit short, but the pit...
A little bit of a misclick. He tried to get inside, but didn't click far enough. And then VP pops BKBs. They use the Metamorphosis. They use Exorcism. And they drop the Fatal Bonds and stuff, but VP just can't be affected by these disables on Liquid side until those BKBs end.
Yep. It's just this... That was the ineffective Ravage from Mind Control, and you can't blame him for it. You knew what's going to happen once we saw these BKBs arrive. So Virtus.pro, at the end of that fight, they've still been holding the advantage as far as gold and experience goes. Gold's bounced up a little bit, but the experience tells the story of the momentum of this game, moving the way of Virtus.pro.
Yeah, it's been just a hard-hitting game, though. Everyone jumps in, they brawl to the death, and it lasts like 20 seconds of heroes fighting other heroes with lifesteal. Definitely a lot more interesting than Pix and Rax's.
I'm wondering if this can be one of these games where Matubberman changes up his build. Normally he's gone for the 2 Plague Wards on Gale, but having the +7 seconds for Poison Nova and the 800 AoE building into Aghanim Scepter, this could coat and hurt.
I actually really agree with you here, because 7 more seconds means 7 more seconds that they have to last past BKB is used. So if he does go Ags and he's got it queued up, this thing's going to last for 23 whole seconds in a team fight. Maybe more with Ags. I think it goes, no, it doesn't go up duration anymore. Tons of damage, and then if he just drops that on all of the enemy heroes, eventually they're going to have to deal with that damage output. Because right now he's not having a good game, and they bought BKB so fast, and they lost that top push. He lost all the gold advantage from his early game, so that's what he's going to need to get back in the game.
Roger's preparing to fight up on top, while on bottom lane, Dire is scanning in the trees, expecting some level of defense to be mounted. But as the scan comes up with nothing and Pasha takes the tower, he should be aware that things are brewing. The ultimate's not fully up. Rock is still on cooldown for 10 more seconds. As this time Liquid are getting into a position to have that aggressive ward. They see no one. Pasha and Ramses all running in. Mind Control, this is his moment to get that Ravage off for the BKBs. No one got his off in time. And the Rock with the Fatal Bond. Ramses low, but Thunder's GH is all the life back once more with the Exorcism damage. Liquid cannot withstand this much power. They're on the run back out again. But this is 3 heroes from Liquid gone. They had the vision. They knew what they were getting into, but Virtus.pro come out victorious.
It's just way too hard for Huskar to fight through all these enemy heroes. I mean, they always get the initiation as well. It's always Huskar starts the team fight stunned. Ramsey's able to get close, pop Metamorphosis, Manta, Conjure Image. They've got to deal with those. And then they also have to deal with the BKB Death Prophet, who's popping Exorcism, who can use Spirit Siphon shortly after the BKB ends. It's like impossible to arm the toggle. And to make things worse there, they just dropped the Oracle ulti on Terrorblade, the first person that Miracle tried to pick off.
Oracle's life is actually so easy for that now. Like, he's always going to protect the Terrorblade because the Aeon Disc on no one means that he's always going to be safe too.
And he just sits way far back. The first thing Solo buys, Blink Dagger. Look at his safety here. And he got a cast range perk at 15. He can stand so far away from his allies. As long as he doesn't get spotted and initiated on, he's going to be able to save at least one person. And Huskar's just falling off the hill right now.
Virtus.pro are just pushing all the lanes in too, so Team Liquid, I was wondering if VP would try and force the issue up to high ground. They don't have Metamorphosis, they don't have Exorcism, but Liquid also have none of their critical abilities. But they back up instead. Keep the farm going, increase the advantage.
It's hard now though. Like, farm is a much more difficult thing for them to attain. They just can't solo gank, they can't create pressure unless they commit a lot of big ultimates. And if you're in that kind of a situation, how are you supposed to create space for your team to feel like you don't have to sit as 5 heroes to farm? Because VP has that big advantage right now. It's like the Sand King advantage, essentially.
Yep. I really don't know what the answer is for Team Liquid. Virtus.pro, however, they know what they have to do. Lane pressure, keep it up, and do not lose any of their big heroes who have been getting more and more combinations. Interesting save mechanism now for Kuro. He's managed to pick up that Lotus Orb. Makes it a lot more difficult for Terrorblade to just sunder any target he wants to. So I'm interested to see what Liquid actually give him as options. Like, well, you can potentially sunder Mind Control when he jumps in, or breaks Freaking Silence. Is that what you're thinking?
It's really good against Sunder, but I think he's probably buying this because of the silence from Death Prophet. Because as these fights start on VP's terms, no one gets to approach, pops BKB, he drops a silence on a couple big heroes. And again, all the Warlock and the Earth Spirit and the Veno, they need to stand pretty close to the Huskar. And if you catch 2 or 3 heroes with a silence, and the reaction by 6 seconds, fight over instantly. So between Lotus Orb and the potential Greaves on Tide that are coming up in a second, it's going to allow Liquid to much better time their team fight starts. But it's so hard as well, because you want Huskar to be the one hitting buildings. Liquid wants to set a tempo by pushing with 5 while they hit towers. That's always going to give the initiation advantage on the defender, which is pretty much always going to be VP here.
Here comes Virtus.pro, the aggressor towards the tier 3 tower. The Assault Cuirass was just finished over a Miracle, so he'll have a little bit more survivability for all of his teams under that heavy physical DPS of no one's Exorcism. But VP, they just bounce around the different lanes. No one. Okay, Exorcism burn. He gets silenced up. But Tubman just trying to cause some problems. The kick flies forward. Ramsey's also burning Metamorphosis. They want to have this fight. The 2 BKB heroes at the front lines. The saving grace is at the back. Solo and Roger can really close the distance in on them. The kick flies through to connect on Solo. But it would have too much trouble to continue out that far. And the illusions of Terrorblade in the meantime are chipping away at the top tower. Miracle looks for a target. They're chasing the Vision. Instead with the Observer and Sentry up on the hill for the free pass. They have to stay free. The BKB is there. Ravage, but not good enough. Mind Control just gets evaporated out. Rock the run. Pushed around. The buyback comes. The one from the pass. The kick is off. But Virtus.pro, so strong, so powerful. Moving forward once more, they get free of the upheaval thanks to the Yaw Scepter on the Kuro. With movement speed, towards the team tap from bottom of the pit. Rolls up Matubman, nothing more to give. No way to really continue this fight. He has a buyback available. The Virtus.pro continue their push through. Ramsey, a little bit greedy, fly from pasture with the Thunder.
Being so much with Fatal Bonds as well as damage, but they should be able to go around here. Got no Exorcism, but they got 40 seconds until the big damage Huskar comes back.
They forced buyback on Mensa. Mind Control wants to look for a little bit more here. The Fatal Bomb still from Virtus.pro. That's a first one, but they get silent over the double virus from Rod. He is a beast on this hero. Gets perfect hit on the Venom. The start hit. Mind Control isolated. Lee's going to make his match through some of the damage, but when Ram's in the back line, filling up the Liquid, this baby, they've lost too many. Block everybody. Team Liquid pushing up the dates as Virtus.pro plant the flag inside the Liquid base. It's falls to them.
And Liquid feels like they can hold on. Maybe they call a good game, but they pop the lit. Buyback from GH and now but the last couple of games, straight
to the front line. He's after him. GH has to help out. The pin down once more. Their triple is so low. He doesn't have enough knife. No when Rock gets done. That's it. That's GG. Virtus.pro to the grand final of the Bucharest Major. Team Liquid once again walk into that major versus Tide.
They're going to be disappointed for sure, but man, did VP play amazing here. The early laning stage was definitely Liquid's show. The last pick, Huskar, gave them the huge lane win that they wanted, but their ability to defend